Warning: the following podcast may contain material not suited for those who are easily offended or under the age of 18. It may contain coarse language, dark humor, and/or offensive humor. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Enjoy the show. Good afternoon, everybody. This is your old pal Cube the Third, and come on,
You found me on the street. I don't have a name.
you're Saradin, dude.
Next one. My name is Saradin. Have a nice day.
Well, it's been a little bit, and let's just say COVID kind of stopped everything. We said that last episode that coronavirus is not going to stop this bitch. Well, that aged perfectly. And okay, and last but not least, and to my
It's your West.
How did I get here?
what?
Why am I here? Who are you people?
Again, you found him on the street, and now he's in a podcast.
Yeah.
I think you said his name was Fart Knocker or something. I don't know.
Cube, quick. There's somebody here that looks exactly like you.
Yeah. Bruh. Well, you're here.
I'm gonna back slowly away now.
Yeah.
You two have your moment.
Yeah, no,
So, yeah, Kevin's here on vacation, so we just decided to do a podcast, that kind of thing. We figured it was probably the right time to do at least a special episode, for for Otaku Midnight, since it's been a while.
it's been a hot fucking minute. Yeah,
Yes.
so the entire thing is like, the last year and a half has been fucking ridiculous for me.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Especially the last 12 months after moving out of my friggin' grandmother's house.
That would be a year, by the way. You said the last year was crazy, and then you said especially the last 12 months. That would be a year.
I know.
yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure. I didn't know if you.
I'm aware.
6.5, half dozen
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I don't.
But yeah, basically what happened is, after I moved out of my grandmother's house, the entire, the situation going from Arizona to my new house in Kentucky was absolute hell in a handbasket.
Oh yeah.
Packed by Satan himself. And I long story short, I currently live in a situation. Man, there was a 3-month period where I didn't actually have a house and I had to live in a cabin behind a church.
Yeah,
But,
basically a cabin in the woods and sometimes real life Udo camp.
except it wasn't quite so comfy.
No.
But one of the main, during that 12-month, fuck me in the ass. But during that 3-month period, I just had very little access to the internet.
Yeah.
And the place I'm living now, it's an actual friggin' house, thank the Lord. But currently, I don't really live in a place that allows for doing podcasts very often, if at all. I tried to do a BGS episode with Zeke, but that didn't really work out. A combination of technical problems and just not having a quiet space.
Yeah, plus everybody like, Mom! Timmy said he's taking the Xbox.
It's my turn on the Nintendo Switch.
Timmy probably should have died then.
Oh.
Touch the Xbox and see what happens.
Fuck around and find out.
But yeah, I don't really live in a house right now that allows me to do podcasts very often.
Yeah.
So what I'm basically... Lean back a little, you're a little close.
Okay.
Okay. But like, one of the main like, yeah, I don't live in a place where like I can be alone in a quiet place for an extended period of time and have a decent internet connection to actually like record a podcast over the internet. So like, basically, what we're gonna do for this episode is like, this is more so just a pilot for any potential like return that we have in the future for Otaku Midnight.
Yeah. He will just not be here. That kind of thing sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, for the most part, it's going to be like the same as it normally is.
Yeah.
Like, me being here is a special occasion that like I'm only here because like I needed a break.
Yeah.
And
to put things like, let's just say it was kind of getting a little unglued. If that's not giving away too much.
Yeah, this vacation was brought to you by government mandated stimulus checks. It works. It works.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, it fucking works.
Thanks, bite me.
Thank you, Daddy Biden. I'm never saying that again.
I was gonna say, have you seen how he like puts his hands on people? Like, don't give him that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Don't give him that credit.
Don't invite him to put his hands on you.
Woo!
Thanks, Daddy.
Yeah.
I still
Keep
remember
your
those
hands
Love
off.
Live, I still remember those Love Live memes where it's like just him and they photoshopped a bunch of Love Live girls looking very nervous with his hands on them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Nico's looking up.
I remember that. Yeah, this is good
And
shit.
he's just like,
And by good shit, I mean stop.
I mean, it's what he does, man. He's very handsy with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to get too
No,
political.
I just think it's
or anything
funny.
like that. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
the one who started it.
Yeah.
I'm just here drinking my lemonade, man. You're the one who started it. Anyway.
So, buddy, what are we gonna do for this episode?
Oh, so today we're going to be talking about Demon Slayer. Then we're talking about the recently released movie, which is Mugen Train, which should have been translated as Infinity Train, but
Infinite. Not
Infinite
infinity.
Train.
They're two different concepts. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, Infinite Train, but yeah. I think that's how... Well, okay, so I only say that because that's how Crunchyroll initially translated the word when the episode aired, when they talked about it for the first time, like episode 25.
Yeah.
It was listed as Infinite Train, and then, I was expecting some kind of, like, Doctor Who space manipulation shenanigans where the train just went on forever, so I thought that's why it was called the Infinite Train. I see why they switched it to Mugen, because it didn't actually mean that, but...
Yeah, plus Cartoon Network's kind of got a thing with Infinity Train going on, so it's a bit too close.
yeah, it's almost dangerously too close. So
I must be out of the loop. I don't watch Cartoon Network anymore.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, it's more an
Sacrilege.
HBO Max thing now, so...
yeah,
Probably.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, I actually caught up with Demon Slayer very recently. So,
yeah,
like,
we watched it. We watched some of it together, that kind of thing.
yeah, so, like, I actually started watching Demon Slayer over at my grandma's house, and I got, like, 10 episodes in. But, like, I was just way too stressed out at the time to actually, like, enjoy it properly. So I just kind of, like, dropped it for a while. But then when the... where was I? Oh, yeah. But yeah, I had to drop it at my grandma's house because I was just like way too stressed out to actually enjoy it properly.
Oh yeah,
And
that makes sense.
When it finally, like, when things ended up like coming together, so it's like I'm coming up here for like a 1 week vacation.
Yeah.
And they're also showing Mugen Train in theaters.
Yeah, that just happened to line up just perfectly.
Just like the synergy happened, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm catching up on Demon Slayer now.
Yeah,
And
Cowabunga it is.
we ended up watching like episodes like what was it, like 15 or 16 to 26.
Yeah,
over at
it
your
was
place?
somewhere around that vicinity. Yeah, it was definitely around episode 14 or 15. Yeah.
It's like the last half of that show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Like
Yeah.
this guy over here has like a home theater room.
Yeah,
with like Dolby Atmos speakers and OLED screen and hue lights, and man, Demon Slayer was friggin' fun on that, man.
Yeah, that it really hits different.
19 was probably a religious experience.
Yes.
It was for me.
Yeah.
Close. Yeah, very close.
Well, everyone on Twitter, especially thought that. But before we get to Demon Slayer, let's talk about what we've been watching seasonally. So let's kind of. I mean, I didn't mean to break up the thing, but like
I've been watching nothing. I'm out.
Have a nice day.
But
No,
you
I'm
have
back,
been
I'm
watching.
back.
But you have been watching something.
Well, at least one show.
Nagatoro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Don't tease me, Nagatoro. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually been so I'm really happy with the anime adaptation personally. I'm a big fan of the manga.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been. Yeah. I mean, I've only heard about Nagatoro like through the memes and like through some fan art and shit. And it looked kind of cool. Looked kind of fun. So
That's how I am with Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
That's
Never read that one. Don't think I will either.
I don't think you should.
think I'm just gonna wait for the anime and make the judgment.
I really don't. Yeah, assuming that.
I kind of just
happens.
wonder. I hope that. I wonder if that's just a meme at this point.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know.
What's the difference between a big meme and something that's actually popular? We don't know yet.
True.
Science has not figured out this answer.
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, you
Oh,
meme
God.
something hard enough and they can make content on it. Looking at you, emoji movie. And now it can rightfully get out of our room because we don't want it here.
Now you. Oh God! Did you literally just like compare the Emoji Movie to to fucking Emergence?
No.
no.
Yes, but insofar as when a meme or something topical or like momentarily popular becomes so explosively popular or so like ingrained in a subculture that it is it is profitable as far as a movie or TV adaptation goes.
Yeah.
I'm just still waiting for the Emoji Movie spin-off TV series on HBO Max. I'm sorry, no, that one will be on Amazon Prime Video because Amazon is full of garbage. But
Yeah. Literally the only good things that Amazon had going for it were like
The
Adam,
Boys.
like Adam
The Boys, yes.
The Boys, yeah. But like back when they had like remember Anime Strike. Yeah,
Hey,
like the only
How
good
to Mismanage Foreign Media. A Tragedy in 3 parts.
Yes,
Like-
yes, yeah. I am so glad Anime Strike is not a thing because their
Look,
subtitles were garbage.
So I have a friend who works for Amazon, right? And like he would be the first to admit that Bezos just wants to own the world. So if there's money to be made
yeah.
in it, he will just take a couple of bags off his shelf full of money and just drop it on top of something and hope it works out. And if it doesn't, he'll strike it off and do something else. It's the same thing that Google does.
Oh,
so
yeah.
gladly he figured out his lesson, and
thankfully.
yeah,
they,
thankfully, yeah,
they don't seem to collect too much anime these days. Thank God.
yeah,
But anyway, yeah. That
yeah.
was-
That's a thing. Yeah, yeah. That was a thing that sure existed. I still remember laughing when it was on. When it was, I bought like one of the Made in Abyss manga like a while back, like back when
Yeah.
it first came out, and it said Anime Strike, and I'm just like, not anymore.
Oh man.
They called it strike. 'Cause
Yeah,
it made people want to go on. Because it made people want to go on strike.
Yeah,
Or they struck out.
Anime
Or they
struck out.
Anime struck out. That's a good.
Woo!
That's a good one.
That
Send
aged
I'm
great.
gonna put,
Yeah,
I'm gonna put that in a letter and send it to Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, we're like Jeff Beeswax.
He'll be like, "The fuck is this? I don't remember." Oh yeah, I did spend money on that. I think. I don't know. Let me talk to my investors.
Hey
Anyway.
guys, the fuck is this?
You spent money on what? Did we lose? How much did we lose? Okay, I don't
Like
care.
a jillion.
And I was like, no, they probably lost a couple $100,000, honestly. Okay, that's fine. Whatever, we're moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, been watching Nagatoro. I actually watched episode 3 with you.
Yes, you did.
Man, that's a fun adaptation.
It really
That's
is.
a really fun adaptation.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't read any of the manga myself. I kind of like to go into stuff as blind as possible, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's just say I'm very familiar. I'm very familiar with Nanashi's work.
Yes. Apparently.
Oh,
he's done-
yeah. Wasn't she, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll
Apparently
leave
did,
it at that.
Did a lot of.
She made the
nice-
dirty stuff.
Made some
before
nice
she made
things.
this.
Make some really. Yes.
I think Nanashi's actually like male.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, who cares? We're never gonna meet them. But yeah, so it It's a good show. It reminds me a lot of another show from a couple seasons ago, or from last season, was it? Something about Sugoi Dekai. I don't really know.
Oh,
Zaki-chan. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that show, and that's a good thing because that show is hysterical. The main character. I have a question though about Nagatoro. I'm still confused. Is the main character a person, a toy, a pet, or food? I haven't. I'm not sure I can call him a person yet. But I can sure call him a toy or food.
No, he's what a lovable pussy.
Lean back into your
He's
clothes. You're like blowing out the mic, dude. Stop leaning in so fast. Stop leaning in.
He's got
what a lovable.
He's definitely got the much like the main character of Rent a Girlfriend. He's got the beta thing going on pretty hard.
Oh yeah,
a little bit, yeah.
And I at least with him it's enjoyable, whereas in Rent a Girlfriend it's infuriating.
Yeah,
it's absolutely infuriating in that show, but this one at least it's kind of likable.
A little bit, yeah.
Because he's not a player.
No, he's a very honest person. It's just like Nagatoro only teases him because she likes watching him score.
Well, I mean, we only tease people we like, so I mean, it's very clear that she has some kind of attraction or affection towards him. Which
especially
means I don't hate this show.
Yeah, like my favorite scene in the manga was adapted in episode 3. It was when like her friends, like her friggin' bitch friends.
Yes.
Let's be real, they're bitches. But
they are gals.
We call them gyarus.
I will call them bitches.
If
I damn well please.
All right. You're traveling on a different train when I go to Japan. Because you're gonna get me in trouble.
Woo. Yeah, I know bitch means something different in Japan. I understand.
I know. We understand.
But
something
yeah, like
that starts with an S, yeah.
Woo.
Sloot.
Don't forget the umlaut.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my favorite scene was adapted in episode 3 where like her friends try to like get in on the teasing thing.
Uh-huh.
And like they go way too far with it, and Nagatoro just like gets really super possessive and confrontational. Like that's my favorite scene from the manga because like it's a really good example of like how far manga Nagatoro will go. And I say manga Nagatoro because there was originally a webcomic version where she was just a straight up fucking sadist.
Yeah, didn't she just straight up just beat him up for the heck of it, that kind of thing?
Beat him up, stomped on his cash and prizes, made his life actual hell instead of figurative hell.
Yeah.
Webcomic Nagatoro is a completely different beast from manga Nagatoro. But
I literally just see what he's going through as growing pains. You know, it's just like one of those things where it's like when you're a socially inept nerd who has done nothing but spend time in fantasy, it's one of those things where it's like there are growing pains. Associated with becoming more social and interacting with other human beings that you aren't necessarily, in tune with right off the bat, and that's exactly what I see. All this squirming and crying and raging and stuff. I'm like, that's just part of the process, man.
Pretty much.
That's just growing pains. You're growing up socially, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But, take a few bites of the shit sandwich. That's the day.
Yeah. So this is literally just a younger version of like the dude from Uzaki-chan, and
a little bit,
But he's already perfectly comfortable in his own masculinity and his ability. Like the dude works out when he's bored. Like he doesn't play video games. He just works out.
Yeah, he's perfectly
like. Well, no, he's perfectly comfortable in his own physique and his own sexuality and stuff. He just knows he likes to be a loner. Whereas this kid has a lot of uncertainty, and I kind of like watching him squirm. I think anybody who watches the show probably enjoys watching him squirm. A lot of us, if not all of us, have been there.
Yes.
It's pretty relatable. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like it's basically just like Nagatoro-san is like a more exaggerated version of the like dynamic between Nishikata and Takagi from Takagi-san, but like Nagatoro is a lot more like just like gremlin-y, whereas Takagi is like, I don't know, Takagi
more
has
soft, I would say.
She has this like purity to her, whereas Nagatoro is just like she's a fucking gremlin. That is the best description I can come up with her.
Yeah.
It is a very stock description of Nagatoro, but like it fits her to a T. It really does.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Also, I'm really happy with how the animes like adapted Nanashi's original artwork. Like they really nailed like all the faces that Nagatoro does in the manga. Like it looks really good. It's safe to say like if you've seen the anime, you've experienced Nagatoro-san. So it's a good adaptation. I'm a really big fan of it, and like some of the directorial choices are like really fun. Like the chapter where Nagatoro pretends to be a vampire. Like when she actually like switches over to like maybe I'm a vampire, like a storm suddenly rolls in. And
that was
like
actually one of my favorite. That was actually one of my favorite bits.
And like her
there.
eyes just light up. That's just like such a fun visual.
Oh yeah.
That said, that was slightly toned down from the manga, that entire chapter, because
it wasn't also one of his characters.
Yeah, one of his original adult manga characters.
Yeah, that's the reason why I said you know what.
Yeah, one of his adult
You'll say
manga.
Fuck, but you won't say hentai. For God's sakes, man, grow a pair. Give your balls a tug. Anyway,
Give your balls a tug.
like, jeez.
But yeah,
Pick a rating and stick to it. All right, go ahead.
you good?
I'm good.
You're good.
Just had to
Okay.
get that off my chest real quick.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good
Right.
man. But yeah, yeah, in the original manga version, instead of like a generic like big boobied vampire girl,
Yeah.
it was actually a lowly vampire character from a manga he wrote called UPL-san no Geboku. And they changed it for the anime because I'm assuming that the people who are broadcasting this don't want to, technically speaking, be advertising pornography on national broadcast television in Japan.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not to mention that she was naked in the original manga. Whoops. Yeah, UPL doesn't wear clothes.
Yes. Yeah, I think one of my favorite moments was just flat out catching that dude like in flat out, just a flat. Hey, caught you in 4K, buddy.
Caught you in 4K, senpai. Hey, what you reading?
It's like
Porn?
nothing.
Do you want to share?
Nothing. I'm not reading anything. What are you talking about? You see nothing. Nothing.
I actually
You
do
don't
like.
see air.
I actually do like the way that like he handled that situation. No, seriously, I read it for the plot. Please read it. And like she's like, I mean, it's perverted, but like yeah, that was actually pretty good. But then she like dogs on him. It's like main character reminds me of somebody, senpai.
Are you perhaps projecting? That's pretty fucking sad. That's sad, man.
It's
Yes.
You could say it's a little sus.
I love that translation.
It works because like
I love it for two reasons. It works if you actually look at the Japanese.
Yeah.
What were you saying, that it's literally she's using an abbreviated version of the word for suspect? Or for
Yeah,
suspicious
like
or
one of my
suspect?
one of my mutuals on Twitter.
What else are you gonna say then, man? Like in English.
yeah the
Like,
One of my friends actually, no, I should say one of my mutuals actually pointed that out, basically saying it's a truncated way of saying suspicious, that kind of thing.
yeah the word.
so
in-
she's literally using the word sus in Japanese, and people are. Okay, the other reason I like it is because, again, it makes morons really fucking angry, and that's really funny to me.
Like they look at the manga translation, like the fan
Yeah,
manga
your
translation
box
that's
and
been
touch
going
the
around
glass.
for a while,
Yeah.
and the fan manga translation you gotta understand is done by 4chan. So, yeah, the fan translation decides to go with "you're acting totally suspicious, senpai."
Yeah, totally suspiciously,
Which,
if I remember correctly.
That is a really lazy translation of that sentence, honestly.
Yeah.
When you know what she's actually saying in Japanese. So, like, I prefer the Crunchyroll subtitles because... But you have to understand, Nagatoro speaks with a lot of Japanese slang.
Yeah, that's the thing. Plus it fits, and plus her saying
She's got the
scrub,
tan skin and everything, and
the whole Ganguro thing going on.
I was gonna say,
Like, very light Ganguro thing going on. Like, she's tan skin. She has, like... This is actually something the anime like showcases pretty consistently that the manga only showcases very seldomly.
Yeah.
She actually wears nail polish, which is not common among Japanese women aside from like gyarus and ganguros and shit like that. So
Really?
yeah, it's not common.
yeah,
like
they don't do it.
yeah,
Makes sense.
like
a lot of women over there also wear very light makeup.
yeah, it's kind of like a purity thing,
right,
Yep.
right.
but culture.
Well, I mean, beauty over there is defined by your hygiene, not your ability to cover up your hygiene.
Exactly.
That is
And
true.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Like I heard it's
Looking at you, Walmart customers.
Yes, I've had to deal
Anyway.
with
it doesn't
that.
matter how much foundation you put on, you're still ugly.
Well, it's not even that you're ugly. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's not. I'm not shaming the ugly. I'm shaming the unclean.
No. Yeah, no, I don't actually like physically like fit like just like I was making a joke.
Yeah.
Don't cancel me on Twitter.
If they had a Razzie for beauty contests, I'd be lucky to win one. But like, but yeah. So like, I'm not shaming the ugly. I'm shaming the dirty. People who have access to a shower and feel the need not to use it.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like the friggin' high school kids in my friggin' gym class who thought that Axe body spray was a replacement for a shower.
Yeah, just like
I just used it as a fire starter. Anyway, because you take the 17-year-old old kid's cigarette lighter and you apply Axe body spray to it and you have a blowtorch. And it was really fun to piss off teachers with it.
Who needs to spend $500 on an actual fucking flamethrower when you just have Axe body spray and a
Orange Glow works really well too.
and a Bic lighter?
I was gonna say Orange Glow works really good too because it has alcohol in it.
That's a lot more flammable.
You're not
to be
trying this at
fair.
home, kids.
And it also makes the room smell a lot better than Axe body spray because the unfortunate side effect is that your room ends up smelling like whatever you just torched it with. So I prefer Orange Glow than smelling like the things that dead cats are attracted to.
That's true.
yeah.
But yeah, I love the Nagatoro anime. It's a ton of fun, and as a fan of the manga, I think it's a really good adaptation. So,
Right.
like, it does a good job of showcasing like what the manga is, and like doing a really good job like setting like a really fun tone. Also, the opening is interesting because like the opening is almost entirely footage from the show itself, but the editing is so friggin' bananas that like it actually works. And it's,
the opening.
it's actually a really well done opening in that regard. It's just like you literally the opening is just like 90 seconds of this is what you're in for.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I like.
Which is
about
Imagine
that.
skipping the opening.
Yeah.
The opening's fun.
The opening
catchy as hell.
the opening is fun and also definitely a lot of Hugh Light candy too, as you've seen.
Yeah, like watching that on the hue lights makes like all the lights just go absolutely bonkers. And it's so much fun.
Oh,
so
yeah.
fun.
And Mike, well, you and I are watching something too, and that is
He's watching it.
No, not Nagatoro. It's a different one.
Higahiro?
Yeah, Higahiro.
Yeah, I
I
haven't.
was gonna say, he's watching it too.
Yeah, I'm watching it too. I just haven't seen the most recent episode. We're watching that afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
I watched it yesterday, the second it aired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Nagatoro the second it aired. Shut up.
So like,
Yeah, me too.
so yeah, no. What is the full light novel title or whatever? It's like I got rejected, shaved, and picked up a high school girl, a runaway.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Something
Yeah.
ridiculous. Look, it's
Yeah.
good. It's good shit.
Yes.
It's a good show. Like it.
So, Higahiro actually reminds me that like Gigek actually did like his like seasonal like this anime season in a nutshell video, and he's like, Higahiro is such a fun and pure series, and I really hope it doesn't drop like Usagi dropped the ball, if you know what I mean.
Usagi dropped the ball.
And I'm like, bruh, this is where this is going.
Oh yeah, it'll probably get there eventually, but I heard.
Hold on. Like,
Gigak. Jump off now.
I've heard from a friend. So I've heard from a friend that like he's read the manga. He stayed up with the manga for something like 5 years now.
It has a manga adaptation?
Higahiro?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it was a light novel thing.
Well,
He's
it was a
been
light
watching-
novel, but it got a
also
manga.
It's also got a manga, and he's
Yeah.
been following
Okay.
the manga. And he's like, look, as long as they follow exactly what the manga does, they cannot go wrong.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
This will
without
be a
doubt.
very good series, and it's
Okay.
excellent. And I love the way. And he said he claims I don't know if it's over yet, but he says like I've loved following it for 5 years. It's a good show. As despite the fact that it has some problematic subject matter in it, welcome to life, man. It's an ugly place to live. Wear
Yeah,
a helmet.
It's realistic.
Give him a tug.
Yeah, and also don't forget. And also, anime is super problematic. Who cares?
So my thing about it is like, I've met a lot of very troubled teenagers and young people in my life. My sister, both sisters, all three of my sisters
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the way that her behavioral issues. So, like, if you, to give you basic what I'm talking about, the dude literally gets rejected by a chick that he tries to date at work. He's like 26.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He goes home, and on his way home, out in a drunken stupor, he happens upon a girl literally sitting on the side of the road. She has no place to go, no home. She claims she's a runaway. She offers to sleep with him in order to stay with him for a night, so she has a roof over her head. He says, "No, that shit's dumb. You're retarded. That's crap. I'm not. No. Look, if you just need a place to stay, you can come crash at my place."
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he realizes that she has no place to go, so he offers a deal. Look, just do chores for me. It'll make my single life a lot easier having to come home to a clean house as opposed to a pigsty. Cook meals for me so I don't have to do that myself. It'll make my life easier, and I'll let you stay here for free. And she acts like it's all fun and daisies and like there's nothing wrong. Clearly, you don't run away from home and stay away for 6 months and go from guy to guy offering to sleep with them to have a roof over your head for a couple of nights.
Yeah.
When you're 16, like that's not the behavior of a healthy human being.
No.
So obviously, and he knows this. He understands that there's something wrong with her and that there's some shit that she has to deal with, and he doesn't dig or pry too hard. But he can definitely tell off the bat that like her behavior is very fake.
Yeah.
Like the smiles that she gives him and the her always agreeing to certain things, like even if she doesn't want to. And of course the guy resists every urge to ever touch her.
Good man.
Inappropriately.
Good man.
Well, it's not even like even as he would say, no, that's the normal thing to do. You don't take advantage of a 16-year-old. You're not 26 and take advantage of a 16-year-old because you're depressed and she's in a bad situation. That's a garbage thing to do.
Right.
And I love how one of his points to her is like, listen to me. The dudes you were with were shit. They're garbage people.
Like, don't consider that
You
the
need to
standard
have
for human-
higher. You need to have higher standards for yourself throughout life, and I think that's kind of his goal in keeping her around is to try to help her with that. And like, but seeing a lot of that behavior on screen, it's very accurately depicted. I've dealt with a lot of people who have dealt with that kind of baggage.
Yeah.
Whatever baggage she's dealing with, the kind of stuff
Yeah.
that makes you want to run away and never go back. The kind of past you need to escape. And like a lot of people, when they're in a survival situation, such as being a nomad with no home, you will sink to certain depths to get what you need. And in her case, she is fairly attractive, so that's one of the things she can use in a survival situation. Doesn't mean it's healthy for her, and it doesn't in the long run. It doesn't mean it's good. But I like the dynamic. He's a decent guy. He's trying to snap her out of her whole delusion, and but he also respects her enough to understand that there was a reason she ran away. Like a lot of concerned citizens would probably walk up and say, "Oh, well, you need to go home. I'm calling child services." And at which point she'd be dragged back to whatever hellhole she escaped from.
Yeah.
So at least he acknowledges and recognizes that her dedication to be away from home for 6 months is like reason enough not to send her back to that situation.
Yeah.
Not to treat her like a dumb teenager.
Yeah, like
So like I like that about him as well. That's probably the best part about him as a character. Everything else is pretty. I'm just a normal dude doing what should be done. Like,
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
the thing you need to understand about, like, the way that Higehiro does, like, the entire situation with Higehiro and the main characters is, like, the thing you have to understand is that while this is what would be considered in modern society a problematic situation, it is the best possible situation for her to actually be in, considering how shit her life was beforehand and what she's had to do to get away from that life.
Yeah.
This is, like, the best life she's had in probably a long-ass time. Yeah. And, like, yeah, it is weird. It is really friggin' weird that like a 26-year-old salaryman is letting a 16-year-old girl stay at his house.
Well,
but at the
especially
same
if you know the
time,
cultural context behind that kind of relationship. If you
Yeah.
understand it, so for those of you playing at home, if you don't know anything about Japan right now, there is a common trend of a lot of young teenage girls who don't do well in school whoring themselves out to salarymen, getting pregnant, and then using that as a hostage, as a kind of a hostage taker on the salaryman. Basically, she says, "Okay, cool, take care of me and my kid for the rest of my life, and I won't report you to the police for sleeping with a 16-year-old."
yeah,
And so that is a well-known, widely spread trend, or I don't know how widely spread it is, but it's a it's a known trend over there. And so anybody looking from the outside in on this situation would probably think that's exactly what's going on here, is some young, pretty 16-year-old is whoring herself out so she doesn't have to work in her life. And so there is a real danger that if someone misinterprets what they're going through, that she'll be, picked up by CPS and then taken back to whatever hellhole she escaped from. So, of course, secrecy is also part of the tension in the show.
Oh,
and
yeah.
keeping that secret of what's going on until they're ready to come forward and talk about it.
Right.
Is it's a real driving force behind a lot of the drama in the show.
It's a really well written, just like very well written slice of life drama.
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely did take me for a loop, and especially the most recent episode I saw. Oh my god, I had a bit of a holy shit.
You can't protect this girl. It's too late, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna he's gonna get found out.
If she was your target to protect for this season, I hate to break it to you, boys.
Yeah,
It's already been done. But
so yeah,
with that being said, I still
need to catch up. I need to catch up though. So
yeah, the most recent episode, I will say, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I will say that you will understand her. She also has major problems with abandonment.
Yes,
which you could see coming in previous episodes because she
like
just
a
talks
mile
about
away,
the guy. She talks about guys just throwing her out after they got tired of her. But those abandonment issues start to really come forward as well in the most recent episode. But again, he handles it like a champ. So good stuff. Go watch it.
Yeah, it's good shit. If you don't mind the subject matter, yeah, definitely go for it.
Well, I love screwed up drama, so
Me too.
I haven't been this excited for a show since freaking Domestic Girlfriend.
Yeah,
so.
This is the guy who loves Domestic Girlfriend and Scum's Wish, just so you know.
Unironically, love those two shows. I love twisted romance drama.
Yeah, I just like taboo subjects.
The more twisted, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, if you're watching anime and you're expecting like everything to be like morally sound, you're in the wrong medium.
Nope.
Disney Channel's over there, guys.
CBS is right up there too.
Hi, I'm Gen Fukunaga from Funimation, and you're watching Disney Channel.
We're as close to it as we can make it.
Woo! Woo! I love it.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Speaking of Funimation, are we going to Demon Slayer now?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about.
We saw that movie.
Yeah. We're gonna take a little short break. Keep it right here on Otaku Midnight. So yeah.
5 más 5 patata.
And welcome back to Otaku Midnight. And today we are finally talking about Demon Slayer and its movie. Mugen Train. So
Mugen? Is it Mugen? Mugen?
Mugen.
Mucus? Mucus Train. That's kind of what it was, though. It was Mucus Train.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
It's kind of Mucus Train, and that's what I'm going to call it now.
So yeah,
let's talk about how'd you really get into the series? Because I kind of have an interesting story with this one, but I want to hear
it's really nothing special for me. It was literally just like Zeke wanted to actually do a podcast on Demon Slayer. So, hey, Zeke, guess what? Finally doing that podcast. You're just not here. Woo! Get wrecked. But get wrecked, buddy.
I had just started watching. I had just finished watching Unlimited Blade Works again.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was the new season had started. I saw a trailer. I saw episode 1. There's a new show called Demon Slayer, and I was like, "Well, that sounds generic."
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's going on here. And then the first episode was called like Sorrow or Remorse or something, and I was like, "Okay, got the right edge." And then its description was, "Dude's entire family gets slaughtered by demons," and I'm like, "It's by UFO Table. It's dark. All right, I'll try." And I loved it. It was good.
We're
kept
in,
on
baby.
It. Yeah, definitely kept on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something I really like about I got into Demon Slayer mostly just so it was initially so that I could do a podcast episode with Zeke, like a Baka Gaijin episode.
Yeah.
But again, the situation with my grandma's house ended up going pear-shaped, and I wasn't able to finish it at the time. I didn't finish it until literally last week. It took me months to get back to it.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. Fucking fantastic show. I love Demon Slayer. Like, I can see why people went absolutely bananas for this back when it aired in, 2018?
Oh, yeah. No, 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
I can see why people went bonkers for this show. It's like, I would consider this and Dr. Stone to be like the modern kings of shonen.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like overall quality and just how unique they are in terms of like modern shonen. And just how well they execute the ideas that they present. Because like one of the big issues that I have with a lot of modern shonen, stuff like My Hero Academia immediately springs to mind. Fairy Tail's another good example, but that's a bit more extreme. Where it has these interesting ideas, fun concepts, and great characters conceptually.
Right.
But like, there's not a whole lot of development done on them, and it mostly focuses in on like a couple of core concepts, and a lot of extra stuff falls by the wayside, and a lot of stuff just ends up being like dramatically underdeveloped. Like my favorite character in My Hero Academia, I like conceptually, is Uraraka, but she just does not get the character development or the like proper screen time that she deserves.
Yep, she has one arc, and then they just kind of drop her. Like,
Yeah.
I think she gets an episode after that one small arc with Deku, and then that's it. She's just like...
She gets a really...
She's just a cheerleader after that, at that
She
point.
gets a damn good fight in with Bakugo during the school festival, but like aside from that, like she doesn't really get a whole lot.
Yep,
And
that's...
it's really depressing to me because she's such a fun character.
I like the term, these shows are an ocean that is a mile wide and an inch deep.
Mm-hmm.
They have lots of cool things going for them, but they don't develop any of them.
Big stories with little depth. But like Demon Slayer is kind of different because like something I really loved about Demon Slayer going in, and like it was consistently showcased throughout the entire series, is like every character, no matter how small they are, has some kind of like... There's some kind of history between history with them.
Yeah.
There's a background. There's something that
also
happened in the past that like brought them to where they are now, and like it informs their current character. Like the work that Gotoge senpai, what the fuck? Gotoge sensei.
Senpai.
I'm used to VTubers. I'm sorry. I'm used to VTubers. Gotoge senpai. Sensei. Motherfucker! Give me a gun. I'm gonna shoot myself.
Oh.
I have terminal illness. It's called VTuber hell.
And that was a part of the reason why we were not into what. That's part of the reason why we didn't podcast for a while. I was too into Corona.
Yubi.
That's a freaking excuse. She doesn't podcast 24/7. Only 12/7.
You have not seen her endurance streams, have you?
Her endurance streams go for like 12 hours. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
They're big.
Watched a couple.
Anyway.
Play.
But yeah, Gotoge Sensei. Gotoge Sensei.
Nerd.
Eat shit. We like each other, we swear. But yeah, Gotoge Sensei, I love the work that Gotoge Sensei put into all of the character writing, because I'm big on character writing. I'm big on like character writing, character studies, like analyzing depth, like just like what like led to these characters being what they are and how they act. Like I love looking into stuff like that and like really just kind of like unpacking that shit.
Yeah.
And Demon Slayer is like that's my bread and butter, and Demon Slayer really leans hard into that, and I love it.
And
like every demon that like Tanjiro goes up against has a great story.
Oh yeah.
Well, and like every single well-written large-scale show like that, it's like there is the larger narrative of what's going on in the world, which is the overall encroachment of demons, and then the Hashira's goal of just wiping them out, and then but outside of this larger
and Tanjiro
goal,
trying to help them because they're tragic figures.
well, my like my whole point is every story like this has this large overarching story, which is part of the state of the world and part of the world affairs and part of the world building. But you don't necessarily have to care about any of that to like the show, because you've got this very grounded personal story of a boy just trying to save his damn sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what makes Lord of the Rings so great, is that at the core of it, it is one guy walking from point A to point B trying to blow up a ring.
Yeah.
And even if you don't care about the wars outside of it, or any of the characters outside of it, it still grounds itself. Everything comes to a head and is focused on this one central point. And that, I think, is the big difference between Demon Slayer and what makes a show like Demon Slayer good, and what makes a lot of these broader, like, wider shows not so good, is when they decide to completely take the focus away. It's like they can't tell the personal story and the larger scoping story at the same time in an organic fashion. When you start focusing on minor characters or bigger stuff, and then you completely take away that story that we've identified with, then it becomes boring. Again, My Hero Academia, I like that show. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
But my biggest issue with it is that when you're not talking about Deku, I don't give a shit.
Unfortunately.
It's boring. I'm sorry. But, like, they haven't... Unless all of that has an effect on the main character that we have grown to, that you have given the most time to and grown to, unless everything wraps around kind of in an egg shape around this one central point, the rest of it's just stuff off in the distance and we don't really care about it. So dedicating time to it makes us lose interest.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where the My Hero Academia kind of fails in that regard, and Demon Slayer is, and other similar shows that do this. It's just good writing.
Yeah,
and,
it really is.
And it keeps your audience engaged. And so even when Demon Slayer was slow, it was still focused on Tanjiro, and it was still focused on his story and everything.
Yeah.
And it never sidebars too much, for too long to talk about any other characters. Most characters have a small arc. It's like 2 minutes of exposition, and then it goes right back to the core story.
Yeah.
And that's something that the rest of the industry needs to learn when they're doing future shonen anime.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well,
And I can say the same thing about Dr. Stone. Everything is about Senku's goal of going to space. Everything else is just a side trip to that whole point.
yeah.
so-
Okay, so I want to talk about. Here's my story with Demon Slayer. Okay, so it was around this time. It just concluded, and Mike over here, because I have a hue light set up, saying like, you need to check out episode 19 with the hue lights. And
I gotta catch you up on this, bitch.
yeah, then I was just like, okay. I mean, it's shonen, but like,
Yeah, the thing to understand about like you is that like you've been burnt out on modern shonen just because
me too.
Yeah, that's basically my thing. Is like, I'm not really into. I mean, I just thought like the whole big dudes fighting and like shonen stuff. I thought I was just like. I don't want to use the term outgrown or anything like that. That sounds a little too harsh.
well, it's easy to think that you did because like you look at all this modern stuff that everyone likes, all these like modern shows, new stories,
it's
and like none of it really grabs your interest, even though everyone else is into it.
I've seen it all.
So like you just kind of think, there's nothing here for me, and I might as well just kind of like yeet myself that other direction and watch more weeb shite.
Yeah, just
But,
watch.
like-
Yeah, just watch more moe shows. Really, that kind of thing.
But like the thing to understand about Demon Slayer is that this is. I actually described it like we ended up describing this perfectly last night. It's like a perfect middle ground between Inuyasha and Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh yeah, that was a
stylistically.
couple. Yeah, that was a big, and I was a big fan of both back in the day.
Oh yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Inuyasha, but I love Kenshin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Insert thing here about Kenshin's author.
Or not.
Or not.
Or
Yeah.
not.
I don't want
because
it.
it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, people on
I don't-
Twitter are being like, Kevin, why don't you talk about this? Because I don't want to.
Because I don't want to. I just
Yeah.
Can't I just...
Can I just think the guy's gross, but also appreciate his writing? Like
Yeah.
people did it
Please.
with what's his name?
Roman Polanski.
Polanski. I was like, Polanski diddled kids in his basement, and he gets away with making movies these days. So you know what? And people say he's a great artiste. So if Polanski can get away with it, then none of the rest of you guys have any excuse. Like, the guy paid his debt to society. Whether or not that debt was enough or not, that's completely beside the point. That's a different argument.
Yeah.
But the guy
Yeah.
did his time, paid his fines, and had his collection, had his gross collection. No, that one's not air quotes. That one's just gross collection. His collection, which was gross, got that taken away from him. That was the correct way to do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Put
I'm
the
saying-
air quotes
I'm
around
not
the correct
defending
thing.
his nasty shit, okay?
Anyway, I didn't mean. I didn't
Anyway,
mean for that
but
to
yeah,
devolve
no.
to a can of
So,
worms.
but also 2 new movies for Rurouni Kenshin coming out, live action ones,
And they look great.
and they look. I mean, it's the same actor, same team that did the previous live action adaptations. If you haven't watched those, just do it. Just go.
do it.
Just go. God, you're sad. Go watch those movies. But yeah, and it's anyway. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Anyway, yeah, I didn't mean for that to divulge into a can of worms. Sorry, folks. Yeah, and then I watched this show and I was like thinking like, okay, it's
You
UFO table.
apologize for me. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, UFO table. Anyway, so UFO table was it? So anyway, I was like, oh, UFO table's doing it. Okay, I'm down for some UFO table. I'll watch this with the hue lights. Have a good...
Really? Because you still haven't watched Unlimited Blade Works.
It's happening soon.
It's like your driver's license.
Patience, dude. Patience.
I know nothing.
He likes to, yeah, I'm working on it.
I'm working on it.
Shut up.
We'll see you next year when we do another podcast, and he still won't have watched it.
Oh, just you watch.
Unlike you.
Okay, just you watch.
Okay,
Anyway.
moving on.
This little gremlin here likes to give me shit.
I'm not a gremlin. I'm also not little. Get your eyes checked.
No.
It's like, excuse you, this man is a Chad.
I'm sorry, this gremlin Chad likes to get on me. All the time.
You hungry?
Sure.
Because I got a 5-finger knuckle sandwich here waiting for you. Extra mayo.
Anyway, so yeah, he convinced me to check it out, and I was like, okay, we'll watch this, with the hue lights. It was fun, and and I was pretty blown away by how much I loved it, especially on the second run. I was just like, wow, this is really good. This is actually legit good. I mean, it was like, and I've been wanting to get into Hero Aka for quite a while, but something about it.
So like, as much as like we just complained about Hero Aka, it really is a good show, and like when it's good, it's fantastic. It's just when it's bad, it's boring. It's more boring than watching snot dry. Like it's just like when it's got its bad and slow moments, it's very boring. But like when it's good, it's like tier 1, like 10 out of 10 good.
Oh yeah.
Like its fulfilling moments are very fulfilling, and so like I still recommend that show.
Like there's a reason that that scenes like United States of Smash are so fucking legendary.
I had a dude. I was playing cards, and the guy absolutely freaking obliterated me. And all I could say is he was attacking me for the final time. As I said to myself, United States of Smash, and he just laughed. He was like, all right, I'm gonna swing for this much, and that's lethal. And I'm like, United States of Smash, and he's like, yep, kinda. Anyway, so that's become a meme. That's because that there's a reason that stuff's become meme quality content at this point, because it's good. You don't make memes about shit that you don't like.
Yeah.
Right.
Something a point that you had about not liking a lot of modern shonen. Something I've noticed, especially since the advent of all of the isekai animes, is that all of the like second-rate, not to be mean, but the second-rate studios, like the premier studios that were doing shonen anime before the isekai boom, they're all doing isekais now, because that's where the easy money is. That's where the no-risk easy money is, and that's what those studios have to do to survive.
Right. Because
they're not out there making Violet Evergarden and Demon Slayer, okay?
Yeah.
So they have to do that stuff to survive. So all of the isekai, that they're all doing isekais now. So all of the quote unquote low quality, I mean, whatever your opinion is on certain isekai animes, whatever. That's not the point. The point is, it's not generally of the same quality of some of these other studios. So all the shonen animes that are just begging to be adapted, the good studios are picking those up now and doing them right. And doing them right. So
it's why Bones got Hero Academia.
Right, exactly. It's like Bones is a fantastic studio. I've never seen them do something bad. I've seen them do some mediocre stuff, but I've never seen them do anything bad.
Right.
And so like, I mean, like, for God's sakes, they did arguably, if you want to call it this, arguably the best Eva clone ever made, which was Etika 7.
Yeah.
And then, like, they've done, like, Noragami. They've done Darker Than Black. Like, Bones is fantastic. And when I heard they picked up MHA, I was like, okay. Yeah, all right. That sounds good to me. Like, it'll be done right, and it'll be good. And like I said, when it's good, it's really good. And then, UFO Table, again, fantastic direction company doing another shonen anime. And I don't know who's doing, I forget who does Dr. Stone.
That's TMS.
No, TMS does Nagatoro. Wait, you know what? Fuck it, I'll look it up. I got my phone.
Yeah, I believe it's TMS. And didn't you say that Nagatoro is that who's doing Nagatoro is a subsidiary of TMS?
Yeah, Nagatoro is being done by Telecom Animation Film. They did Lupin the Third Part 5, Part 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Stone is done by. Oh yeah, it's produced in cooperation between TMS and 8pan. So
I could have told you that. I just wanted you to look it up.
just I'm double checking.
Anyway, that's fine.
I'm fact
I could have told you
checking.
that. I've watched that opening 1,000 times.
Getting it right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I just remember seeing the TMS logo.
No. Yeah, so TMS does, and again, they're a pretty decent studio. So like, we're getting some of the better. I think nowadays we're getting some of the better studios to touch shonen again. Now that all of the all of the lower, slightly lower quality, lower opportunity studios are taking up all the isekais right now.
Right.
And God, can that fad not die fast enough?
You still got good isekai shit coming out, like
sure.
Yeah,
It's like any
ReZero.
it's like any art. It's like any popular art style. Like
Yeah.
there's a couple of diamonds in the rough, and then everything else is coal.
Yeah.
And it's just you've got a lot of coal mixed in there. Like looking at you in another world with my smartphone.
Another world with my smartphone.
That show was just the bottom of the barrel. I think even Giga made fun of the fact that was the bottom of the barrel isekai.
By the way, watch ReZero.
Yes.
Good show.
Very good.
But Demon Slayer. So that was what I wanted to say about that. Is like that's one of the things about it is like I think Ufotable definitely elevated that show to levels that previously it wouldn't be seen before because the manga, from what I've heard, is very mediocre. Like the art, at least, is very. The story is great, but the art in the original manga is very mediocre.
Yeah, it's very mid.
It's very
from what I've
mediocre,
seen. I remember
and
I
it's just
peeked
like-
at a manga one time for it.
It's good enough. Even Giga again. Giga can keep name dropping you. Sponsor us anyway.
Notice
video
us.
Get me on your show. I want to talk to VTubers too. So like, but anyway, so but like he even mentioned, I think in one of his like he even did a comparison where he showed the scene from the show where the guy who plays the drums was rotating the room and everything, and what
Yeah.
that scene looks like in the manga is just like. This sucks. Like,
Yeah,
it
they
just
made-
sucks compared to the show.
They made that real exciting too. They really did.
So having a good studio behind is obviously the help. I mean, you don't want to just sell your show on visuals, and I have some minute issues with episode 19. As awesome as that show is visually, it does kind of come off as a bit of a Deus Ex Machina when suddenly, as he's about to die, he just realizes something that was never explained and never described before the entire show, and his dad was only hinted at once
bit, yeah.
for 2 seconds in like 6 episodes before that he ever had any training in breathing.
Yeah.
So they just kind of introduced that concept and it saves his life. So it's total Deus Ex Machina, but we don't care because that scene was done so well
yeah.
that like it just works. And so like having a good studio can make anything work. And I think that's one of the biggest godsends that Demon Slayer could have possibly had.
Absolutely. Demon Slayer, like, a good part of why the anime is just so fucking good is because Ufotable just completely knocks it out of the park
Yeah.
production-wise. They got, like, amazing music. They have amazing animators on it. Like, the production pipeline clearly was, like... They paced out the production pipeline so that,
I
like...
have to imagine they're also exhausted from doing so much Fate.
I have to...
Oh yeah, I
definitely.
imagine they're definitely burnt
Because like
out
between
They're literally just
Unlimited
the
Blade-
Fate studio at the moment.
I was
so.
to say, like, they branched out once and did Garden of Sinners, but Garden of Sinners is technically a Nasuverse too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And I was
yeah.
like, that was the furthest they had branched out, and then suddenly they were like, let's do something new, and the whole staff was like, oh, thank God, finally.
Yeah, the reason...
And let's make this R-rated as possible. Let's go.
Yeah, the reason why... Okay, so, like, I'll mention that in a second.
Yeah,
but, like,
please do, yeah.
So, like, 2 things. The reason why Ufotable did Demon Slayer in the first place is because one of the high-level producers at Ufotable read the manga and loved it and was like, we got to do this show. We got to contact Shueisha and tell them that we want to do the anime adaptation.
And they were like, you said UFO table?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like,
Okay.
Like-
The Fate people? Okay.
Yeah. So, like,
Cowabunga.
the reason why Demon Slayer exists as an anime by them in the first place is because one of the producers read the manga and fucking loved it and immediately called up Shueisha for the rights for it. And you have to understand, before the anime aired, Demon Slayer, while it wasn't doing poorly, it was very middling in terms of rankings, and, you know, Gotoge Sensei was, you know, reaching the end of the manga at that
you
point.
mean senpai, right?
I said Sensei.
I know, I
meant
was just messing
sensei.
with you.
I know.
You can try, you won't get away with it.
I know. You'll break my arms. But
I'll start with your knees. I'll be nice.
oh, you're gonna steal my kneecaps first. Good.
Is this going to be like that thing in Earth?
You got a power drill? Anyway.
Okay.
Maybe.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
Do you have like door drill bits? The big round ones that like you drill a hole for like a doorknob with?
Maybe.
Anyway.
This podcast is rated R. Hard R.
Woo! Whoop! Dropping the hard R.
No, that's not what that means. That's not.
I know that's not what it means. He thought it's what it means.
Ooh.
This isn't an Xbox Live party. You can't drop the hard R.
But and you mentioned like it being like, you know, quote unquote R-rated as fuck. So like Shueisha was actually pushing hard for the show to air on a primetime slot.
Yeah.
To put it into perspective, My Hero Academia airs at 6 p.m.
The most prime of primetime slots.
Yeah. And I believe at the time Shueisha was pushing hard for Demon Slayer to be like airing at a similar time slot, but the producers over at Ufotable were like, no, like the violence and the level of intensity in the manga is part of what makes it so good.
Yeah.
And we want to capture as much of what makes the manga good in our anime. So we're going to air Demon Slayer at late night. I believe it ended up airing at like 2 a.m. And
wow.
From what we can tell, that was the correct decision.
Yes.
So the
very
anime,
much so. It was super violent. I'm surprised.
The manga has ended up selling bajillions at this point now.
The manga
because of the anime series.
Didn't it outpace One Piece at one point too?
In 2019, it sold more volumes than One Piece. than One Piece in that year, and that's by like a huge margin, like 10-1. Massively outsold One Piece that year.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it paid dividends. You know, after episode 19 aired, which, for the record, that episode trended worldwide on Twitter. It was that popular. Like everybody and their mom was watching Demon Slayer that day.
Didn't Ninja post about it?
He did.
I don't even like Ninja. I like his hair. I don't
He
even
did.
like
Ninja,
but
friggin'
even
Ninja posted
was
about
like,
it.
I don't usually post about this shit, but y'all need to go watch Demon Slayer. I was like,
Ninja knew
I was
what
like,
was up.
my dude,
Yeah.
Ninja knew what was up.
my bruh. Thank you for the shout out. Anyway,
Yeah.
I like your hair. Thanks, man.
But yeah, like part of the reason the anime turned out as well as it did is because, you know, Ufotable stuck to their guns and were like, we're airing this late night. We're keeping all of the same content from the manga. We're not censoring a single thing. And we are going to produce this at the highest possible quality that we can muster for this show.
Right.
And
yeah.
the end results speak for themselves. It's a phenomenal anime. Like, the manga was already good, but the anime just takes everything good from the manga and just cranks everything up.
It'll be a while before it drops off of people's top 10 lists. It'll be
definitely.
quite a while.
Yeah, I gotta say this. If they went with the primetime slot, I probably would have not have given it the time of day. It probably would have been a little more couched in than usual. That would have been like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad they went.
Absolutely.
I'm glad they just went. They just went for it.
Yeah.
So and I appreciate the show just for that. So
It's a fucking fantastic show.
yeah, and like I said,
And I'm kind of with you too,
Well-
because like I've kind of been a little, I've been lukewarm on a lot of modern shonen, but like Demon Slayer is the first one aside from Dr. Stone that I've seen in a long ass time where I'm just like, I love this.
yeah,
so
and
much.
Dr. Stone is another good one too. I love it's a unique take on it. It's like they're using science rather than just that, that stuff.
Well, as opposed to power levels being relatable to how hard you can throw a punch, or how fast you can dodge, or how fast you can leave an after image of yourself while you punch your opponent in the back of the head, or how many magic powers you have. It's literally, you have a JoJo character in Tsukasa who represents that whole thing.
Yeah.
Power.
And then you have the brainy kid, the fucking nerd, who his entire thing is just, how do I outsmart you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the I don't want to call it a deconstruction, but that's the subversion that happens in Dr. Stone, and that's why it's great.
Yeah, like what happens with Dr. Stone is
Had
like
to go to an idol meeting.
the battle is more so based on like who has the most information and who can actually like outsmart the other team.
Which, if you know anything about modern warfare, that is exactly how we win wars, is through information.
Senku is literally a war general at this point.
Well, he just understands the basics of information exchange. It's like, at the end of the day, yes, somebody has to pull a trigger, somebody has to throw a punch, somebody has to stab with a knife, but it's the way you avoid senseless bloodshed and a lot of collateral damage in warfare or in fighting any opponent is exactly and precisely how to aim that bullet, how to stab that knife, and how to throw that punch so that it ends the fight as quickly and concisely and as cleanly as possible. And that is the big step up, from us going from fighting with waves and waves of guys with swords on a battlefield and then leaving the field literally stained red.
Yeah.
Tons of collateral unnecessary.
Yeah.
And what did we capture? A field? Okay,
Yeah, I guess.
to nowadays where we can go in with a single team of 6 people and wipe out an entire compound because we know the layout, we know what our enemies are equipped with, we know we know how and what to hurt them, and we can do it with as little collateral as possible.
Demon Slayer is just a very intelligently written series.
Well, yeah, and so is that's
Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone. It was like, and that's
They both
the thing,
are.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing
They
I love
both
about Dr.
are.
Stone is that he is trying to find a way to end this conflict using intelligence and using that pinpoint attack, as opposed to just mindlessly throwing punches in endless one-on-one fights in in the same wooded setting, looking at Yu Jujutsu Kaisen. Anyway,
Yeah, and that one looked pretty interesting, but
had a good first episode, and then it was just shonen after that. And if you liked it, great, good for you. I'm just not a shonen fan anymore.
But yeah.
Not to jab at that one.
Yeah, I friggin' love Demon Slayer. So yeah, after me and Cube the third over here, after we completed like season 1, him doing a rewatch, me watching it for the first time and like actually catching up. The very next day, we went and saw the movie, and just so everybody's aware, so you see these two things right here.
Yes, this one he got me as a birthday gift. This Nezuko here, and
Yeah, technically speaking, they're both birthday gifts when you think about it.
Oh, yeah,
so
most
like
definitely.
so like Nezuko here is the Ben Presto Glitter and Glamour's Nezuko Kamado.
Yes.
It's a pretty nice figure. Like considering how cheap she is, like $35, she's a very high quality figure considering that. I really like the job that they did with like her hair. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit! Like you can't really see it. I can bring it up to the mic. Or sorry,
Bring it up to the camera.
here you can see her here.
No, you can bring it up to the camera.
I'll bring her up.
You can hear the little grunts.
Yeah. So like you can actually see pretty well here. She has like really high quality like. I really like the job that they did with her hair. The way it just like drapes down around her. Like that's really well done. Let me just position her correctly here. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I got that one because like it's a cute Nezuko figure. Nezuko is best girl. We love her.
Yeah,
and
we all
whatnot.
are big Nezu bros.
And Tanjiro over there is actually like a complete coincidence the way that we got him.
okay,
So,
explain that one.
One of the things that like we made a point of coming down here is we wanted to go to round 1.
Yeah.
And we decided to go to round 1 before watching the Demon Slayer movie because Mugen Train was showing at like 9 p.m. And we had time to kill. Like we weren't going to go out at 8 p.m. just to arrive at 9. We wanted to have some more fun aside from just watching a movie.
Yes.
So we went over to round 1. Don't worry, everybody was masked and we kept sanitizing our hands.
Yes.
Especially me. I kept hand sanitizer on me at all
and
times.
we are both and I'm vaccinated, so.
You can still be a carrier.
You
can still be a carrier.
I might not
Wear
be
your damn
vaxxed
mask.
right now, but
I was wearing my mask.
I was taking
dude.
precautions. Don't worry. But that considering, we went over to round 1, and we went over to the Crane Games, and we actually found that Tanjiro Nesaberry.
Yep.
In like one of the cranes where you just have to like scoot him off, and I'm like, I looked at that, like took all of 3 seconds to look at that, and I'm like, that is a $30 plush that I can get in like 3 tries, which I did. So that's actually his. I got that for him like days later when we went back.
Yeah.
and I actually have my own upstairs, so we have matching Nessos. But like, it was a complete coincidence that we actually got these Tanjiro Nessos, and I actually brought mine to the theater.
Oh yeah, and I even have a picture of him. I even have a picture of the Tanjiro Nesso, like when we were in the car, like on the way.
I put my
to Mugen
mask
train.
on him.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was pretty funny. I'll flash it
adorable.
up. I'll flash it up on the screen right now. That kind of thing, and then
Behold.
Yeah. So yeah, that was really cool, and yeah. So
You have a Nezuko shirt, and you were like, "Hey, you want to wear my Nezuko shirt?" And I'm like, I don't know. Then I found that not Tanjiro Nesso, and I'm like,
I
"Oh,
can
this
do
is
better."
better. I can do you one better."
Yeah.
Take best boy with me to the second best boy.
Yes.
Inosuke better.
Inosuke is definitely the best.
We love Inosuke. He's just fun.
Yeah, he's such a lovable dumbass. I can't help but love him. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, Demon Slayer is a damn near perfect show, admiring one blemish.
Which is
There's one blemish on that show, and it's a character, and we all know who he is.
Oh yeah.
And we all forget about him conveniently when we gush about this show, and I've never seen anyone say Demon Slayer's garbage because of this character, but we all know it is.
Look.
Mr. Fuckboy,
Zenitsu
right? He's a fuckboy.
Zenitsu is
0 out of a million.
God, Jesus Christ.
I don't hate Zenitsu, but his shtick gets old.
It really,
I was
really
gonna say,
does.
from the first scene, his shtick got old.
Really, really damn quick.
And add to this that he is just a one-trick pony even when he is asleep. Because, like, I get it. Like, he's supposed to be this obnoxious scaredy cat when he's awake, and then when he's asleep, his powers awaken and he becomes God.
He becomes cool when he's asleep, but only when he's asleep.
But, like, he only knows one move, so if he became, like, the ultimate... If he came to, like, a Hashira level where he, like, had complete mastery of his entire skill when he was asleep...
See, that would be fun, but
that would be
overpowered.
fun, but overpowered. But then, only triggers when he's asleep.
True.
Instead, like, and if he could like manage his only his one attack when he's awake, then it would make his awake scenes a little more bearable.
Yeah.
Because then he wouldn't be completely useless. But I'm sure they did the best they could with what they were given as far as material goes. But Zenitsu is like just the one blemish on that show.
Yeah,
and
he's the
God,
he was
he's
the
annoying.
weakest character, and
I can agree.
God, he's annoying. Just shut up. Just shut up, kid.
That was.
He's such a wuss.
Can we give him Nezuko's muzzle, please?
Yeah, like the main problem I had with Zenitsu in the show really was like, it would have been fine if he was like, if he had full, control of his lightning breathing when he was asleep, but he doesn't. He only has one attack. He only knows first form. So even if he is that good at when he's asleep, the fact that he only knows one technique significantly it limits what he can do within the narrative and in terms of like fighting.
It makes the annoying stuff he does even less tolerable.
Yeah, because
Because like at least if he was like the most talented swordsman among the three, even under certain circumstances, I would tolerate him being around.
Yeah.
But even then, he's not very good at what he does.
Yeah, like...
So...
Yeah. That really is my issue with Zenitsu. Not necessarily that he's annoying, but, like, there's nothing to really counteract how annoying he is.
Yeah, that's
even
my
when
issue.
Even when he goes, sicko mode, so...
Yeah. Even when he goes sicko mode, or even when he goes... even his pervertedness is not even endearing either.
I was to say, and then when he's not being a scaredy cat, he's being a total horn dog, and it's just like, bruh.
Look, Zenitsu.
You have to have some likable characteristic. Come on, man.
Zenitsu, buddy, let me level with you. I love Nezuko too. She's my favorite. Like, she is best girl. A+, 10 out of 10. Chill. Even me, who is just like, absolutely like head over heels for Nezuko, I'm like, down boy. I don't go that far. Come on, dude.
That being said, the scenes where he does go boss mode are pretty awesome.
Yes.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, the one where he goes like ham on those spider demons is pretty fun.
But they're just so short-lived, and then we have to go back to dealing with the problematic Zenitsu, and then it's just like, oh great, that was fun. It was like we got a breath of fresh air for 3 seconds.
It really says a lot that outside of his, really says a lot about how annoying Zenitsu can be. That the most entertaining scene of him, outside of him being asleep and being an absolute boss with 1 attack.
Yeah.
The most entertaining scene is the one where he can barely breathe and can't even talk.
Oh, literally the one where he's dying.
Yep.
Yep, and he's like lamenting his life, and I'm like, this is great content. Sorry, man. Like,
it really says a lot about his character.
Yeah, and it's like, I understand that there's a point to his existence and that his character serves a purpose in the greater narrative, and I get all that. So any of you who are angrily, it's just like doing this because you're manga readers and you're, total chads and you out-chat us, whatever. If there's anything that professionally offended people like, it's being complimented on their intelligence.
Yeah, sorry, we're anime only.
But like, so if you guys know more than us, that's great. I'm sure you've got great points to make down below. Listen, so far he's annoying.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm waiting for him to cook a little bit and be done. But
the thing is, I would love to read the manga. I really do, but I prefer things to be in motion.
I'm waiting for the Usopp moment with him. I'm waiting for the Sniper King section of Zenitsu's character arc. I'm waiting for it,
and I want to see it happen. It's just right now he's insufferable.
Yeah, right now he's a douche. Yeah.
So I kind of feel the same way about the other Hashiras. Honestly, like some of them just have like obviously Mugen Train changed that a little bit. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But like one of the things that irritates me about the Hashiras is that we had this really grounded cast of characters, and then we immediately went to dumb shonen stereotypes immediately. With the snake guy, he's dumb. The vapor guy who doesn't say anything, he's dumb. The rock guy who cries all the time, he's dumb. The guy who says flamboyant all the time, he's dumb. Like, these are dumb character tropes. I'm sorry, they're dumb.
And we haven't mentioned the Flame Hashira yet.
Have you ever met a competent person in any sport or any fighting style? They are some of the most down-to-earth people in existence.
Oh, yeah.
They are not... the best card players in existence are not fat nerds. They're well-kept, well-maintained, physically fit, very down-to-earth, very relaxed individuals. Because they have to be to perform at that level of stress.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're telling me these Hashiras are all flamboyant artists at a junior liberal college with their bizarre character tropes that are just blindly accepted, I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
it's a dumb trope that a lot of shonen animes do, and I was really sad to see this show do the same thing.
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah,
it's a little. Yeah, I don't have nearly as much of an issue with it as you do, buddy.
Well, and I'm sure they all have characters to develop. It's just
oh yeah, but
with the show ending the way it did, we didn't get that.
Yeah, but again, I don't have nearly as much of an issue with it as you do because I still think it's entertaining to a degree. But me personally, I can even though I'm not too cold on it myself, I can definitely see the Hashiras and their particular character archetypes and stereotypes stylistically they act kind of counter to Demon Slayer up to that point, because Demon Slayer is a dark fantasy series and it gets into some pretty depressing, very emotional subject matter, and it has all these very fairly fleshed out characters. Even Zenitsu, to a lesser degree, is has some depth to him, out of the gate a little bit, but there's definitely something to him. But then you get introduced to all these Hashiras, and it's basically just
the circus is in town. Literally, and it's a very jarring. It's a very jarring episode, and I think there's this, what is it, episode 21, I think, is when you get introduced to them. Episode 21 is just an awkward episode.
Yeah,
it seems like the last 4 episodes is just bonus DLC. It's just...
What works with Zenitsu is that, he has 2 other characters to work off of. He has the very grounded Tanjiro, he has the very wild and crazy Inosuke, and, he's the coward. They work to balance as a trio. Yes. Whereas with the Hashiras, it's just a bunch of fucking clowns that come in, and they happen to be really good at fighting.
Yeah, and like I said, it's something that comes with the territory with a lot of shonen animes. A lot of shonen animes.
Don't worry, we're not going to be dunking on Hashiras that long.
Don't worry.
And it's just something that bothered me. It felt a bit jarring to me, and I wish it was done a little bit better, or I wish that... And again, like through Mugen Train, we ended up really liking one of the Hashiras that I thought was dumb at the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm sure all of them have great character stories that need to be fleshed out. It's just their introduction. A friend of mine, again, who had read the manga, was really shocked they even bothered to introduce the Hashiras, considering they don't really play a huge part, minus that one scene where they pass verdict on him and Nezuko. Like, other than that scene, which honestly you could have had it written out and he could have just interacted with the master, and that could have been, it would have had the exact same result. And it's just he was shocked that they even bothered to introduce the Hashiras because none of them come into play until Mugen Train.
Well, to be fair, during that scene, they needed to like really nail home the fact that the Hashiras definitely have a thing against demons, and like there's definitely a level of like negative, like there's just like overall negativity towards the concept of like Tanjiro having a demon with him and protecting a demon at all times.
Sure, but their superior officer already said it was cool, and then they're just like, nah, we're gonna disobey direct orders from the leader of our order.
Yeah, we're gonna stab her around.
Well, again, part of what makes like Rengoku's character like in the movie. Not spoilers yet.
Yeah, we're not at Mugen Train just yet.
Yeah, but like part of what like Rengoku's entire thing in the movie is like he eventually gets to the point where it's like I trust your sister and I can see that she is a good person. She will not harm humans, and I see her as a genuine member of the Demon Slayer Corps now. So like that's a big part of his character. So like I actually understand why they kept the scene as it is, because you really needed that in order to sell Rengoku's character and like the way that he develops in the movie later. So
sure,
right,
it's just goofy. It's just goofy.
Yeah.
I feel like the show would have been better without it, but
yeah,
it is what it is, and now I want to know more about these characters, and I think that's really where I felt betrayed. That's the one blemish on the show is like
I can understand.
They introduced them, they were very goofy, and we didn't find anything out about them, and then they moved on. Like we learned about Shinobu. She had her whole backstory arc, and we learned about Rengoku in the movie, and we already know a little bit about Giyu, the water.
The water Hashira, yeah.
Yeah. The only water Hashira. There is no water Hashira.
Water.
That guy's retired. Now he just throws kids to the wolves in a forest. Poor Tanjiro. Look, that's what he does, man. And if they survive, they get a sword. It's a pretty raw deal, bud.
Yep.
Like,
oh, yeah. His
trainer, the guy with the goblin mask, it was an old Hashira.
Yeah.
Yeah, they even announced that in the later episodes. They're like, by the way, he has two Hashiras vouching for him. One's current, one's ex. So... And they're like, nope, don't care, I want to stab Nezuko. I'm like, alright.
For the record, Giyu's a fucking Chad because, like, he literally put his, like, he almost literally put his neck on the line to protect Nezuko, and he didn't have to do that, but he went out of his way to be like, you know, I am confident that Nezuko is a good person and that she is not going to attack humans, and if I am wrong, I will commit suicide. Like, I will kill myself if I am wrong.
Yep. Well, I think honestly, he sees the same thing the Master does, where he sees Nezuko as a golden opportunity.
Yeah.
They've been fighting demons for thousands of years. They've never finished the job. And so anything that upsets the balance or is out of the ordinary that could be used to their advantage is a godsend. They see it as a prophecy. And absolutely, Tanjiro's circumstances and Nezuko's circumstances are a clear indicator that something is about to change. And so not monopolizing on that is a fool's move.
Yeah, like the fact that the fact that Nezuko's like demon nature was overpowered by her humanity kind of showcases that demons are weakening now, and there's actually like, you know, like this war of attrition between humans and demons is coming to an end finally.
I want to know why Kibutsuji's curse doesn't affect Nezuko, because he has a...
That's a good question.
He has a snap your fingers if you disobey me and your head explodes curse on every demon that's under him that has his blood. Nezuko clearly has his blood.
Yeah. She can. Why the hell does she demon blood arts?
Yeah. So if Kibutsuji wanted to, he could just go, "You're dead," but he can't. I mean, he can't. So it's just one of those really bizarre circumstances. Yeah, we're gonna have to get filled in on that later.
That is a really good question. Like, so, that does bring up a good question actually. Never really thought about that, but like you bring it up now. Wonder what is going on.
Think later. Talk now.
Of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, movie time.
So yeah.
Okay, so should we do like a non-spoiler or just like, or do we just...
Spoilers ahead.
Yeah, let's just start talking about the movie. Spoilers for Mugen Train coming up. If you have not seen Mugen Train, please click off the video now.
We're just gonna give like how about we just give like at least a brief summary? Like, okay,
without spoilers. Careful.
You kind of can't.
You kind of can.
The movie is an entire spoiler
I was
in and
gonna
of
say
itself.
key points of the story are definitely spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
It's a good movie. It's really good.
It's like TLDR.
Go
Movie's
check it out.
good.
I
Go
can
check
tell
it
you
out.
I liked it. Go watch it. It's a little slow to start, but it gets there, and it's really good once it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole thing with Mugen Train is like, so the plot of the base plot of Mugen Train is basically the core trio of characters and also Nezuko are brought over to the Mugen Train alongside Rengoku as like their superior officer to investigate demon murders, like demons murdering humans on the Mugen Train, which is at the time, like early 20th century, combustion train, and
steam engine, really.
Yeah, so and the plot basically revolves around what the keep getting notifications in my ears.
Yeah,
but like the plot basically revolves around them trying to kill the demon who is currently taking over the train and killing humans, and God, like the movie deals with some like really interesting so the power that the demon has is basically being able to put anybody into sleep, put anybody to sleep, and basically having lower level demons, lower level people infiltrate the dreams to try and kill them kill them using psychological shit. And
they weren't demons.
Oh, they weren't. Oh, you're right. Fuck.
They weren't demons. So they were hostages of the train, and the guy, he had the power to weave dreams however he wanted to. He could show you whatever fantasy he wanted to. And so what they were is he had given them a taste of that and reunited them with loved ones, let them fulfill dreams. In the case of the one boy, he was dying of a terminal illness and was in constant pain.
Yeah,
so the dream allowed him to escape
tuberculosis.
that. Yeah, so the dream allowed him to escape that pain. So the demon didn't convert them into demons. If they had, their ailments would have gone away.
Yeah.
Instead, what he was doing was literally using the pleasure he could give through dreams as a drug to use them in the same way that an opium lord uses them. So they were just normal humans. They were doing it to get a fix.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Little bit more sinister that way, actually.
It is. It's a lot more underhanded, and it's a lot more it's psychological warfare against these children. He's using children to get
basically using
Children's minds are more easily adaptable to indoctrination.
Yeah, and it.
Yeah.
But I feel really bad for these kids because they were dealt a shit fucking hand in life,
right?
And this demon is just taking advantage of their weaknesses and their desires to just have a better life, just to do his dirty work, and it's just so fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
The movie itself was
It sure is a Demon Slayer movie.
Yeah, it was super exciting to finally get to go to. It was first it started out a little slow, but then
one of the interesting things I really liked about this movie was how they handled Rengoku, the Flame Hashira.
Yeah, they made him less of a dumbass and more of okay, this guy is actually cool, not just
Umai!
Yep.
I was like, oh look, it's the circus clown again. And then he just goes total badass mode and chokes a dude in his sleep. I'm like, dude, whatever.
That was a super ass Chad move.
I will take it. I'll take it.
Dude was literally in the way that these spells work, the dream spell works is you cannot move when you are,
you're in a coma.
You're basically in a coma. This dude friggin' choked a guy while in a coma.
That's freaking badass, dude.
It's friggin' crazy. I love it. Fuck. That was the big moment where I'm like, oh, oh, this guy's for real.
Oh yeah, this guy's legit.
This guy got skill.
No, I think Tanjiro, the way he figured out how to break out of the dream was also a very heartfelt moment because, I mean, I knew he was going to. There was never a doubt that he was going to ever feel like he needed to stay. He's so driven by his forward goals that he never looks back. But, like, there was, I mean, having to see him decide whether or not he wanted to stay in this dream world and just, be with his family again, or having to kill himself in front of them to escape the dream. Like, that was a raw deal. I also love the part where he's fighting. Speaking of having to kill himself, he has to slice his own neck to get out of the dream, and so to wake his body up, and the
lower Kizuki, the lower Kizuki that they're going
keeps putting him under sleep spell, and he keeps getting out of it immediately because he realizes immediately he's in a dream. So this guy is just cutting his throat over and over again in this dream, and it almost happens in real life because he loses track for a second because he's doing it so rapidly. He loses track. For a second, which one is dream and reality? And that was a real tense moment. I was like, no. And
Inosuke
Good guy Inosuke was like, nah, dog, not today.
It's like, this is real life. What are you doing?
Yup.
Just such a fucking great moment there, God.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of God, so this movie gets friggin' nuts in the second act because, like, them defeating the lower Kizuki is not the third act.
Yes.
But wait, there's more.
Oof. So, like, the end of, like, the second act gets friggin' crazy because, like, it turns out the lower Kizuki had actually, like, become, like, the train actually became part of his body.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude.
And I can see where all of the production budget went for this movie because, man, they went ham on the CG.
Yes, they did, and that's one of my favorite things about Demon Slayer in general is that I love its CG to 2D.
It's really intelligent. It's really intelligent use. Japan is not known for their CG.
Like the thing with CG,
And
like a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people would like immediately dog on the CG for this movie for looking out of place, but I actually really like the way that the CG was done because it makes like every element of the demon and his powers look just horrifically otherworldly. It just looks completely out of place, and that's how it should because it's not natural, and nothing like this has ever really been seen before in the series. Like, we've never seen a demon, like, interface directly with this, like, massive machine and just turn it into, like, this gigantic, friggin' disgusting blob monster mixed with, like, earliest 20th century technology. And, like, to the point where, like, the train itself actually becomes his body, and, like, when they actually, like, cut into the train, there's, like, all this blood and sinew, and, like, there's, like, this gigantic neck bone that they have to cut through. It's disgusting.
It was, it was awesome, yeah.
It was so good. Like, it's just, like, the production quality of this movie, it's not quite up to the same standards as, like their Fate Stay Night movies, like the Heaven's Feel movies.
Right.
But on its own merits, it's still really good, and it does a really good job of, like, showcasing, like, how over the top and, like, crazy things have gotten in this movie. This movie is, like, if... This movie is... I love the TV series, but, like, the movie was just like...
Oh, it took it up to a whole new level,
this is
that's for dang sure.
It's like, I was afraid that, like, after the TV series, like, there was going to be a drop-off point, and, like, I was going to, like, kind of lose interest, but, like, the movie kind of proves that, like, Demon Slayer has real staying power in terms of its narrative, and...
Yeah, it's like, there's more to come, like, after this.
Oh,
especially.
yeah, and a large part of that is, like, Rengoku's character arc. His entire character arc is basically, like, showcasing... Oh god, the third act. So
his entire character arc is basically the third act.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, as mentioned, like, earlier, Rengoku's entire thing is that, like, he, along with the rest of the Hashiras, was highly skeptical of Nezuko's abilities and her loyalty to the Demon Slayer Corps.
Right.
And one of the things that Nezuko does in this movie is that she utilizes her demon abilities. She isn't put to sleep because she's been in her box the entire time and nobody knows she's there.
Oh, yeah.
So she comes out of her box and she actually utilizes a combination of, like, her demon blood arts and just, like, her general strength. Because as a demon, specifically a demon with like a little bit of Kibutsuji's blood in her.
Yeah.
She has incredible strength, even though she's been starving with like 0 human blood for the last 2 years. She has incredible strength. And she was basically using a combination of her demon blood arts and her regular, like, just demon strength to, like, protect every single human on the train and just, like, absolutely going above and beyond to do her best and, like, actually, you know, help, you know, save everybody on the train, which they succeed. Everybody on the train miraculously survives this partially because of Nezuko. Though I will admit, like, Nezuko, her one like big fight scene kind of ended a little anticlimactically because she ended up just getting like held onto by like all the like CG demon tentacles, and then she had to get like sliced out of them.
Definitely.
I believe Rengoku actually did that. So like Rengoku.
No, it was Zenitsu.
It was Zenitsu, right? Oh
It
yeah,
was
Zenitsu's like
because he was like, "Wait, Nezuko's in danger. Better wake up and go God mode." And
Zenitsu's wife,
literally
senses
cleared
were
that
tingling.
whole train. Literally cleared that whole train.
That
of
entire
everything.
car just.
Yeah,
zoop.
no, it was totally Zenitsu that saved.
Yeah, I forgot because Zenitsu is just like my
It's
wife
like-
whose senses are tingling.
It's like
Literally.
It's like simp mode.
He literally his simp powers activated.
I'm like, okay, Zenitsu, you get one.
Yep.
But yeah, like Rengoku like witnessed all of this stuff that was happening and was like, you know, the entire time. And okay, I'm gonna let him take care of like the actual fight because like I don't know how to explain that.
Between whom?
Rengoku and the upper Kizuki that
The
came
upper
up.
Kizuki, yeah.
So yeah, so like, look at the very end, like, obviously, if you're here for spoilers, you should have already watched the movie. So I'm not gonna go too much. I'm not gonna go too much into what happened because you guys saw the movie if you're here.
Yeah.
But literally, like, my prediction was that as soon as the upper third showed up, I was like,
He's dead.
Oh,
Rengoku's dead.
Rengoku's gonna fucking die.
I literally said to
yeah.
myself, Rengoku's dead. And it's really easy to see the setup because you've got Tanjiro injured, you've got Inosuke being outmatched. Like, there's no way he could join this fight. So it's the perfect setup for a tragedy as Tanjiro has to watch a mentor pass away. He has to watch a mentor die to his adversary. And it's like it's what's played out in every single Star Wars movie that concerns a Jedi and its pupil, is that the pupil is helpless to save the master when the master is killed. And then the pupil finds his inner strength and ends up defeating the bad guy. Well, we'll get to that part eventually in the series, but unfortunately, we did not win that fight this time. Well, we did. So, like, and here's the thing: is like that fight was totally. At worst, it was a tie. At best, it was Rengoku winning because the dude tried to run the hell away because of the sun rising, and the sun kills them instantly. And
Yeah.
Rengoku's goal setting out in that fight was to protect his underlings and to protect the people of the train and not let anyone die.
That was what he was doing.
Which is why he got mad at Tanjiro when Tanjiro was like trying to go gung-ho. He's like, you rip those stitches and kill yourself, I will have protected not you, so don't do it.
It's like you will have like
you're gonna make my death
that...
in vain.
Yeah.
Thanks. So I appreciated that, but then the other guy, his goal was at best to hurt a bunch of people. At worst was to just kill Hashira. So at worst, the fight was a tie. At best, it was a total victory on Rengoku's side. Yes, Rengoku had to lose his life to fight the battle, but it just shows that like the Hashiras are actually just more competent than the demons are. Something I thought was really interesting, and like this is something that I'm sure, again, y'all who read the manga down there right now, just stop. I don't give a shit what you think. I noticed that a lot of the lower demons, they all have some hole in their heart. They're always like missing something. Like they're missing some kind of validation. Like the one guy who played the drums, he was missing validation. Nobody validated him for his art.
And that was another
and
thing
he felt
I
like he was really depressed.
And Rui, the spider demon, his entire thing was like
didn't have a family.
Yeah, his family, basically in his mind, his family rejected him due to his demon nature and the fact that he had killed humans and like they couldn't live with that.
Well, they rejected him because he was sick.
Yeah.
He was a sickly child, and so they were sick and tired of taking care of him. Like, they were just frustrated, and they didn't not love him. They were just frustrated with the circumstances they had to live in. And so he became a demon to cure his illnesses, but then he started eating people, and then they were like, well, now you're repulsive. And he's like, okay, well, fuck you, I guess.
Of course, that wasn't actually the case.
Yeah, that wasn't actually the case. It's just like, what are parents going to do in that situation? So, like, the lower demons, they seem to be driven by grief. But I did not get that from the lower one, the one that survives the culling, the train guy. I did not get that from him. I got nothing but ambition. He was pissed when he was in his death throes and he was dying. He was pissed that he didn't reach a higher power level.
That was his thing.
He was not sad and lamenting over his tormented history. He was not sad and lamenting over the things he never got to do in life. He was pissed that he wasn't more powerful.
Like he felt like he had been like he had squandered.
Cheated.
I think it's a guy.
I think it's a
guy.
dude.
It's a dude.
Yeah. It's a dude.
Like he was like just like I squandered the potential that Kibutsuji blessed me with, and like I could have been an upper Kizuki. I could have won this. I could have, been among them. But like
and his whole thing was
that.
His ambition was struck short. And again, with the other guy, I didn't get the impression of grief from him. I got the impression of I want to be the most powerful.
Yeah,
like, the dude's literally Goku. He just wants to fight people. He literally wanted to turn Rengoku into a demon so they could spar forever. He's literally Goku.
His entire fight with Rengoku was basically like.
Be a demon so we can be sparring buddies.
Yeah, it's like you could live for hundreds of years and become so much stronger than you can be now as a human. Why don't you it's like why can't you understand that like this form that you have is limiting and that like you can have so much more going on in your life when you become a demon. Like you can fight forever. You can never die. Like you can have unlimited power, more so than you have now.
Well,
everything that you have now can be magnified, unbelievably so, and for so much longer to become a demon. And like Rengoku's entire thing is like that. It's like human life is fleeting, and human life like I want to live the best life that I have as a human, and becoming a demon is kind of like the coward's way out.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say nothing is special if it lasts forever.
Yeah.
So like that's the I think it's also because the dude only thinks that way because he's completely driven by ambition.
Yeah.
He aspires to be the most powerful thing in existence.
What's more powerful than a demon?
Exactly. Well, not only that, but he also aspires to fight the strongest opponents he can, which is why he likes Rengoku. He's like, I want you to become a demon because I want to spar against you.
The only reason
because I want to get more powerful.
The only reason
that's all I care about.
The only reason Rengoku died is because the upper Kizuki literally just punched him through the stomach and was like, "If you don't become a demon, you will die from this."
Yeah, they were literally trying to bribe him.
He was trying to force the issue. Yep, and he just like, nah, I'm not going to. Fuck you.
Like the Kizuki's ambition just overrode any of his senses, and he ended up just killed Rengoku.
But that's the thing. That's the thing that I think is interesting. Is it seems like the upper Kizukis are all driven by ambition. And again, I'm sure I'm wrong, but it seems like at least from what we've been given so far, that all the upper Kizukis are completely driven by ambition. They're bloodthirsty, power hungry, whatever you want to call them. They all represent some form of human greed, and that's why they became demons. And that's probably why they're so good at what they do, because they don't give a damn about anything else.
Yeah.
They're not bogged down by heavy emotions. All they care about is more. They just want more, whatever that is. Food, power, lust, whatever it is they're driven by. They just want more, and they are ravenous, and they're given as much power as they can possibly want to do that. And that's what Kibutsuji also values, is he likes the fact that they're ambitious. He looked at the one guy who survived the lowers, and he said, I like your ambition, I like your power hungriness, and I like your bloodthirst.
So something that I learned very recently about the ending of the Demon Slayer movie is that the final few minutes of the movie are completely anime original.
Yeah.
So the original the original manga version of the Mugen train arc actually ends with Rengoku dying, giving Tanjiro his blessing, and then moving on. But the anime, the movie, adds an entire montage scene at the end of the movie, basically just to twist the fucking knife the entire time.
Oh yeah, that was deep.
Where the crow, like it showcases like the messenger crow watching Rengoku die, and then going off and telling all of the other Hashiras, including their master, that one of the Hashiras has died to one of the upper Kizuki, and like you just see everyone's reaction, and like the tragedy just strikes that much harder because it just drives home like how broken and how much this actually affects everybody in the Hashira core, because like we don't really get a whole lot of them as entire characters up to this point.
Yeah.
But like we get little glimpses of them at the end of this movie as like they each react to Rengoku's death. Like
it made them almost like characters.
Yeah. Like I really like that.
They were
moment.
doing the whole.
They were a little bit of a character there for a minute. Careful now, you might stop being a circus clown.
Yeah.
I really love that ending scene because it just drives home the tragedy so much more, and it showcases that like the Hashira, for all their goofiness and like all of their for lack of a better term, bigotry towards demons and whatever.
Yeah.
Like for all of that, they're still human, and when they lose one of their own, it really does affect them. Like that's something that I really liked about that scene, and learning that it was anime original, I'm like, holy shit!
They really did their.
Well, without that scene, they would have had zero characterization throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah, it definitely.
The whole scene at the beginning of the series was also, or the movie was also original. The one where the master's walking through the grave of all the Hashiras that have fallen before him.
We should have figured out Rengoku was going to die when we saw that scene, really.
Somebody was going to die.
There was definitely a death flag.
I also believe that we're not done with Hashira deaths yet, but I think there might be at least one more. I'm probably going to say there's at least going to be one more.
I'm pretty sure the Hashira is going to lose at least one or two more members as the series goes on.
Well, and it's
the manga guys going to be like,
heroes. It's part of the classic hero's journey. You have to lose three things as a hero, and Tanjiro's lost his family.
He's lost a friend.
He lost a friend
in Rengoku.
And it's going to be probably the mentor.
Because like that was a big thing with Rengoku in this movie, because like he didn't become like an actual like mentor to Tanjiro, but like
not fully.
The two of them hit it off really well, and just like they were super like they got along really well. And Tanjiro wanted him to be his mentor, but like
never got there.
Never able to get there.
Yep.
They stopped at the friends thing, and like.
Sucks, yeah.
Yeah, spoilers. We think Giyu is going to be the mentor.
We think Giyu is going to end up being the mentor. It makes sense, considering he knows more about the School of Water than even Tanjiro does.
Yeah.
Tanjiro thought there were only 10 forms of water breathing.
And then
Giyu used an 11th.
By the way, 11. I'm invisible. Nice head you have there. It'd be a shame if somebody gently sliced it off. Like I was carving beef.
Yeah, like, pulling it back a little bit, that scene friggin' like threw me for a loop. It's like friggin' water breathing has 11 forms.
Yeah, especially from like episode 19. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Rengoku's actual named attack was not an original part of his school. I'm pretty sure Giyu made up the 11th form himself.
More than likely.
The dude's like totally calm all the time.
Yeah.
The dude never gets frustrated or angry like ever. So like the fact that a unique form to him would be calming water makes too much sense.
Yeah.
Whereas like Rengoku is nothing but fighting spirit and pure energy, so the fact that his last attack is a fucking fire dragon, like that he named after himself, like yes, totally.
He literally calls it
makes
Rengoku.
sense. Yeah, the final attack is his final form is literally Rengoku, and it makes perfect sense. Like I'm guessing that
you're on.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I'm trying not to. So I'm guessing that. Literally, in the case of Giyu, it's a form not original to the School of Water, and he made it up himself.
More than likely,
just as I believe that Rengoku, it's pretty smoky. It's a pretty big smoking gun when you have a technique named after yourself that you made that technique up. So, they are the leaders of their schools. For all intents and purposes as well.
Yeah, like a big part of the Hashira is that these are the best possible people to slay demons. So
yeah, so they are the leaders of their schools and their breathing techniques. Speaking of schools and breathing techniques, it's mentioned in this film that the Black Blade, again, manga readers, just chill. Let us have our fantasies, please.
Yes.
I have never met a Black Blade that was able to figure out what water breathing technique.
They generally don't know they generally don't know what school they want to learn from. So I'm just gonna go on a limb, and I've already given this theory to a buddy, and he's like, I'm not gonna tell you what happens. That's another one I got you. But I told him, I was like, my theory is that he's gonna be like Aang from Last Airbender, and he's just gonna literally like start learning a bit from every single school. Like he's gonna be like, yo, take this water attack. Now I'm gonna electrocute you.
Yeah. Tanjiro already
knows. You ever played Pokemon?
Yeah.
Tanjiro already knows a bit of fire breathing technique from his dad, so like that actually does like that tracks. So,
well, he'd have to learn. He would have to master something that none of them have ever mastered before, which is how to switch breathing techniques on the fly without causing catastrophic damage to your body.
Yeah, because every time that Tanjiro switches breathing techniques, it knocks him the fuck out.
It causes catastrophic damage to his lungs. Like it makes sense when you are. I don't know how much. They never go into the specifics of how breathing techniques work, but I'm gonna guess it's something like how you have to breathe when you're underwater. When you're deep underwater and you're in a scuba mask, you literally have to let your lungs reacclimate to normal oxygen after that. And if you're not careful in how you do that, that creates bubbles in your blood and bad things happen, like you die. Yeah, so it makes sense that as intense as those breathing techniques are, that each school would have a slightly different version of it. Yeah. And trying to switch on the fly would cause catastrophic problems with your metabolism and other stuff. So he's going to have to learn how to switch those. He's going to learn how. If he does do this, he's going to have to learn something that none of them have ever learned before, which is how to do constant breathing, but in 10 different forms simultaneously.
Yep. Right.
Which, if that doesn't make him the Goku of this universe, I don't know what will. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm the fucking strong.
My power is maximum. So that's just my little theory, is that because he's indecisive, he's probably going to end up learning a little bit from each school. And or at least from several schools. Maybe not every one of them, but like maybe from at least a couple of them. And I mean, that may be what you need to do to beat someone like Kibutsuji, or from what I've heard, the upper one is probably capable of killing Kibutsuji too.
Oh yeah.
But snap your fingers, your head explodes curse thing. He was not going to try it.
Oh god, yeah.
Kibutsuji interestingly reminds me a lot of Dio in that like he doesn't need to he doesn't need to like directly like physically influence anybody in order to actually get them to follow his cause. He's very much like Dio in that he is a charismatic figure whom they follow just because. Some of them are like attracted to his power, others are fearful of his power. In fact, that's another thing that I noticed about like the lower Kizuki, is that like most of them are scared of his power, and that kind of limits them. Whereas, like, those within the upper Kizuki, as well as that, like, one lower Kizuki that, died in this movie, like, they aspire to that power. They admire it.
They're full of ambition. They want to be just like him.
They look at Kibutsuji and be like, damn, I want a piece of that. So
you literally have a piece of that. It's in your blood.
He literally gives them a piece of that.
Right.
It's like, hey, like the cut of your jib.
Yeah. So
here, have my blood.
So all theory crafting aside, something else I've noticed about Kibutsuji, and again, apparently I'm just wrong about. I don't want to feel like I'm wrong about this, but I felt like my buddy's reaction gave me the vibe that I was wrong about this, but. I'm just imagining that, like, after beating the upper one, eventually in the series, Kibutsuji's going to be a pushover. The dude's a coward.
Yeah. He hides behind his. He hides behind his.
He hides behind his curse, and he hides behind all of his other demons. Like he never the Hashiras. The master has mentioned that every time they get close to him, he always throws them off with a diversion. All he does is run. He doesn't fight. He could probably, if he was that powerful, he could probably crush all of the Hashiras single-handedly by himself, but he doesn't because he's a coward. Even the doctor who escaped his curse somehow has also directly said, you realize you work for a coward, right?
Yeah.
The dude's a spineless wimp. And so I'm just imagining that once his entire upper echelon of demons have just been, like, canned by Tanjiro and the rest of the Hashiras, that, like, he's going to slink into a corner into a fetal position and just beg for mercy.
Yeah.
Like, the dude has a problem with his own mortality, dude. Like, he got fucking heated against some dudes in an alleyway because they said, because they said, you kind of look frail. And he's like, do I look frail? Eviscerates them.
Yeah.
Like, he's so afraid of weakness. And it's like, I feel like without his armies at his disposal, he would just crawl into a corner and die by himself. Because he's so impotent.
From what I've gathered, Kibutsuji sees power as being, like, absolute. That is, like, the one thing that is most, like...
It's kind of like he constantly has to prove that he's the best.
And, like, death seems to scare him.
Death terrifies him. There ain't no way he's going to heaven.
Oh, yeah.
You go into super hell, sir.
You go to a special version of hell where you have to listen to Vegeta or you have to listen to fucking Nappa the entire time.
Vegeta. Sorry, Kibutsuji.
God damn it! Like, you get a special hell where it's just you, Cell, and Frieza having to listen to Nappa the entire time, man. And there's only one board game, it's Candyland, and it's missing 3 pieces. Like, that's the worst kind of hell, man. It's just, that is just the hell that awaits you. Like, and Tanjiro's gonna send you there on an express trip. On a train.
A train, you could say.
Yes.
No, the movie was good. I was actually kind of glad, and you don't see this a lot. I was actually very glad that they lost the last fight. Well, lost the last fight. Their objectives were met. We won, but at the same time, we also lost to Hashira, and the dude got away.
This movie did not end on a high note.
No, it very much ends on a Debbie Downer because the guy just gets away by the skin of his fucking teeth, and he runs away like a fucking coward. And even though Tanjiro trash talked the shit out of him, was like, "You're a fucking coward who's afraid of the sun. Give your balls a tug." It's like,
Rengoku won this fight. You're a pussy.
You're a pussy.
Come back here and fight like a man, you motherfucker.
Right? He literally.
You said demons are stronger than people, but you're running away because the sun's coming up. Bitch.
You're afraid of something that happens every day. And literally, as epic as trash talking goes,
Tanjiro did everything short of calling him a bitch.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But the guy is smart. He was smart enough not to buy the bait. I almost expected him to turn back and to try to fight Tanjiro, but then Tanjiro would have fucking died because the demon was fully healed and Tanjiro was wounded. And Tanjiro is also not a Hashira.
And Tanjiro also threw his goddamn sword in the...
his sword master's going to beat the fucking shit out of him.
He almost only killed him once.
Yeah. This is the last time I'm making you a sword. You lose this one again, I'm going to send you out there with a stick.
What you do with this, bitch?
I will paint a stick black for your pussy ass and you can fucking use that instead.
It's like the last time you just broke it. This time you just yeeted that thing into oblivion.
This is how you treat my weapons? He was dead. You couldn't have taken his sword and thrown it?
That would have been
but seriously, his sword, it's... But yeah, no, they also, I don't know, they dropped the hints about there might be some... Obviously, fire breathing is not flame breathing; it's a different school.
Yeah, it's like an offshoot of that school, I think.
It's like a dead offshoot of that school. Because we're all guessing that Tanjiro's dad was a practitioner of that school.
Because there's another line in this movie that showcases that all of the different Hashiras, even if they don't have a pure element to their breathing, there is an offshoot that they're based on. That one female Hashira, her love breathing is actually based on fire.
God, that's so stupid.
Flame breathing. So,
God, love breathing is so dumb. I'm sorry. I haven't seen her use any techniques. Maybe they just make people's heart explode, and it's like the 5-finger exploding heart technique, and it's awesome. We don't know.
Hey,
maybe all she does is make people's hearts explode, and that's freaking badass. But until I see that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
This frustrates him so bad.
This is a dark fantasy. I'm the love breather. I'm like, Teletubbies is over there. Care Bears is over there. That's where you belong.
My Little Pony is up there.
Right, My Little Pony is over there.
Now you're watching My Little Pony.
With the creepy 30-year-olds. Anyway. Oh my god. Jesus. She irritates me the whole... And all she is Doki Doki the entire time during that meeting. I'm like, a boy's about to be executed. And you're like, he's so cool. I'm like, God damn it.
He's so dreamy.
God. Stupid! It's just stupid. Anyway,
Loki,
moving on.
I love watching you get pissed off about
I want her to be a better character than she is so far. So
Become
hopefully
a better
next season we get some development on her. Maybe like love breathing is the most hardcore shit ever, and she has a dark streak to her.
Real talk.
Bruh, it's not my fault. It's the wheels. Blame him and his chair. Anyway.
Yeah.
Love breathing is an offshoot of the flame breathing school.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing fire breathing might be an offshoot, or maybe it's a more primordial one.
Possibly that.
There's a more primordial one because nobody seemed to know about it. So either it's long dead or it was only practiced by a few people, like Wing Chun used to be, and now it's.
Yeah, the only thing that their master was
Tanjiro's dad definitely knew about at least one form of it.
Yeah, the only thing that their master was able to tell Tanjiro was like flame, like people who practice flame breathing consider fire breathing to be a completely different school of training
That none of them have ever heard of.
so like the phrasing is very particular. In Japanese, it's like the difference between I believe oh god, never mind, I forget the words. I'll figure it out later. I'll put a note up here. Put a note up here when I give you the friggin' translation.
Yeah, but no, they've said that it's there's a very particular phrasing, and that fire is not flame breathing. They're two different schools, and obviously Rengoku did not use Hinokami Kagura during his fight.
He did not.
So it's obviously not part of his school.
He doesn't even know what Hinokami Kagura is. So
yeah, he's like, well, I know it literally translates to Dance of the Fire God.
Yeah.
That's literally what it translates to. So, which is badass. Unlike the Love Hashira. But so it's obviously an offshoot of a different school. I'm gonna guess it's either a more primordial school or it's an old dead offshoot of flame breathing.
Possibly, yeah.
And we know that his dad was at least aware of it and was possibly a practitioner. In fact, I would go as far to say is that he was either a Hashira himself or he was a demon slayer who used fire breathing. Because there's literally a scene earlier in the show where Kibutsuji is afraid of the Hanafuda earrings because he remembers an old demon slayer that literally got the best of him at one point.
Which
it
is
shows
literally
Tanjiro's
just Tanjiro's dad.
It literally shows Tanjiro's dad. Like, it's no one else it could have been. It's the same fucking cloak and everything.
Yep.
Putting a sword to his throat. So, Tanjiro's dad got the best of Kibutsuji, and that makes him very scared of the fucking Tanjiro.
He learns of Tanjiro and he's like, shit.
He's like, kill it with... I won't say that word. Kill it! Just kill it. Bring me his head.
Kill it with... okay, bad wording.
Bad wording.
Just
I'm scared of that word! Anyway, that word makes me pee myself in my Michael Jackson outfit.
Yeah, he looks like fucking Michael Jackson for real.
He does have that Dapper 20 style going for him.
I'm imagining just one.
For those of you who are confused also, like, Demon Slayer takes place basically in 1916 to 1924, somewhere in that range.
It does, yeah.
Yeah,
not exactly the exact dates are not specified, but it's in that era.
Yeah.
It's in the Taisho era, so it's around that time.
So it's about that time. So between 1915, 16, something like that, between like 1925, 1930, something like that.
I'm imagining a scene now where like someone who's like a lower Kizuki comes up to Kibutsuji and they're like, Kibutsuji, man, you're so fire. Wait, shit, no, fuck, no.
Oh God,
wrong word.
You said what? Actually, doesn't matter. I'm gonna kill you anyway. Murder some. So anyway, excellent movie. I'm actually really glad it ended on a low note because it makes the juice for the second season so much juicier.
Oh, God.
Because I swear to God, when we finally track that son of a bitch down,
this is like a
it's
rare...
gonna be the most satisfying murder in history of anime.
It's really hard to make a downer ending feel satisfying, but man, this was a very satisfying downer ending. To put it the best way possible. Like, you come out of this movie feeling pretty satisfied by like what happened. So like, even though like it's like this super emotional ending, like you feel it was really, really earned.
Well, I feel like it would have been a disservice to how frightening the enemies were if the upper three had been defeated.
Yeah, definitely.
Single-handedly in single combat. I mean, the guy's got a couple hundred years of experience on Rengoku.
Yeah.
And it's like, it would have made no sense. It would have just been like, it would have felt disingenuine if, like, if he was able to single-handedly beat that after also defending a full train in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So while having to protect 2 underlings, it would have made the upper demons, feel just as weak as the previous ones. And I think it was very important for the narrative to really establish that there is a huge difference, a huge gap, as Kibutsuji said.
Yeah.
They've told you, now they've shown you that there's a huge gap in strength.
Right.
So
right.
that being said, it still shows how powerful Hashiras are that he almost got away with it.
Oh
He
yeah,
almost killed him.
He
Came that close.
put up a hell of a fight against that Kizuki. So amazing fight, by the way. Fuck.
Yes. Yeah. That was.
That is like the real like highlight of that movie. That entire sequence is just friggin' fantastic.
I still love the train stuff after he wakes up. Like that stuff's still fantastic as well.
Oh,
like,
fuck yeah.
The whole second half of the movie is fantastic. The first half is very slow. It has
It's
to
a
do a
lot
lot
of
of
build-up.
It has to do a lot of establishing to make the rest of the stuff have impact. And that was my only critique of the movie, is that it just dragged on a little bit too long. I think it would have been hilarious if they never showed you what Inosuke dreamt about. I think it would have been hilarious. You just see his reactions outside of his sleep where he was just like, yeah. Like, that's all you get. That's all you get from him, is he's just conked out with a big snot bubble, and he's just,
That's another
Like,
thing, like low key another
because
thing.
like his dream meant nothing. His dream was like literally just like them going cave diving, and
like-
it was like no significance to his character at all. So I think it would have been funnier if they just cut that out and just made you wonder.
But yeah, like another thing that like really helps like sell the emotions of the end of the movie is like throughout the entire movie, all three, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu, get like really closely attached to like Rengoku, and they get like really like caught up in his energy.
Yeah.
So like when Rengoku actually dies, it just devastates all of them. Even Inosuke is like, what the fuck is going on right now? I am so pissed. I am
Right.
so mad. Why did this have to happen? Like, even Inosuke, who is just like midbrain the guy.
I was gonna say, he respected the hell out of Goku's power. He was watching him fight. He was like, dude, that guy's fucking awesome. I want to be like him.
And
And,
it's
then
like-
he dies, and he's like, oh no! Like,
Like, I think that's part of the, like, I think that's the big thing that like really sells the emotions of that scene, is like Inosuke gets like broken by it. It's
Yep.
so harsh. It's
Yeah.
so fucking harsh.
he's like, I'm not crying. You can't prove anything. There's tears coming out of your mask, man. I'm not crying!
Shut the fuck up. Let's
The
go
dead pig's
train.
crying. Let's go
Shut
train.
the fuck up. We need to go train. We need to go train. We need to get stronger.
Yep. I also think there was this real moment, and it really shows the frustration of the entire crowd, is like every time Tanjiro breaks through this huge ceiling of skill, like he ends up finding just another impassable wall in front of him.
And even
Yeah.
even he understands that. It's like, no matter how hard I push myself, no matter what I do, I'm always too weak. I don't know what to do. This is just too much for me to handle, and like the emotion just crushes Tanjiro. Like, he spends all of his last dregs of energy shouting down the Kizuki, telling him, "You didn't win this fight. You lost because you're an ass. You're a
yeah,
fucking
definitely.
coward." And then like he just breaks down because all the losses that like have built up over time are just finally starting to take their toll on him. Just like everything that he's done is just like people keep dying, people he cares about. He keeps losing people he loves, and it's just getting to him now. And you would think that like after his family, like Rengoku dying would like not like any other shonen protagonist wouldn't really be like that. Like, it would be sad, like, and they would cry, but then they would rebound. But like it
Saki
deeply,
for my homies. All right, guys, next fight. Let's go.
but like it deeply,
Yeah.
deeply cuts into Tanjiro because Tanjiro's entire character arc is like he needs more power so that he can defeat the demons, so that he can learn how to defeat Kibutsuji and cure his sister. So like to him, like he kind of makes a perfect like parallel to Kibutsuji himself, because to Tanjiro, power, it means a lot to him as well, but like his power is to help others, whereas with Kibutsuji, his power is only to help himself. And the thing that really cuts deep for Tanjiro in this movie is like, no matter how much more power I get, people keep dying. My loved ones, I keep losing my loved ones. What am I going to do? This is too much for me to handle. I'm lost now.
He's gonna do what Kirito did. He's gonna go hide in the woods for 40 days, not sleep a single fucking hour of it, and he's gonna go train.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like a lot of people miss that because they didn't talk about it at all in the SAO anime. But after Sachi dies, the dude literally goes on a 40-day tear without any sleep through the wilderness, coming this close to death about 100 times.
Yeah.
which is how he gets his auto healing ability, which is how he goes from like level what was he was like level 30 something in that episode to like level 75 in the course of like a month. She's like, that guy power grinded to an insane level without sleep for
Just
like
like
40
24
days.
hours a day.
Because he's like, no, not again. This will never happen again. And I'm guessing Tanjiro is going to have something similar.
I think
this
so,
is just
too,
going to push
yeah.
him to an insane level of dedication to his craft, to the point where he's not going to sleep, he's not going to eat, he's not going to think, he's just going to train until he can sleep and slay daemons at the same time.
Like all of the dedication he's put ridiculous amounts of dedication into his training already, but like this is just going to push him into a new level of just like trying so hard to just gain as much power as he can, so nobody else around him has to die again. But like, as we said, we're pretty sure like there's going to be one more loss with Tanjiro, and it's going to push him over the edge.
There's going to be at least one more.
It's going to hardcore push Tanjiro over the edge.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Oh, God, this series is so fucking good. It's harsh, but it's so good. Demon Slayer, that's another thing about Demon Slayer. Like, even though it's like a modern Shonen Jump title, it does not pull punches. It is a harsh series.
Yeah, and that's another thing I really enjoyed about this title. Yeah.
Like,
it's not kid friendly.
No.
It even though it's running in the same friggin' magazine as My Hero Academia, which I literally went to the first movie and saw actual 6-year-olds watching it. That was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Demon Slayer, it does not pull its punches. Like, one thing that frustrated me with My Hero Academia is that, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, All Might doesn't die. It would have been a lot more powerful if All Might actually fucking died. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
So, like, when Rengoku actually dies in this movie, like, that really sold to me just how special Demon Slayer is, because, like, it's not afraid to just kill a character.
That's why Akame ga Kill was such a good shonen anime. It's because Akame ga Kill did not give a fuck about your feelings.
No, it did not.
It proved very early on that it was a very harsh, savage series that was not afraid in the slightest to slaughter, not murder, not let them die heroically, just out of left field, you're dead, main characters.
Yep.
Like, and so, like, if you haven't seen Akame ga Kill, a fantastic fighting series, you never know who's going to win a fight. They prove that on very quickly, and it makes every fight amazingly intense. Anyway.
Also Dad as Death.
Yeah, no, God damn it, she's such a terrible character. Go fuck yourself.
Ooh.
God.
Damn.
Boy, I have friends who have opinions on that
I mean,
one.
that's fine. They're allowed to like garbage. It's fine. I have the utmost respect for garbage men and the work that they do. Okay, so...
Boy. Jesus.
You knocked over Nezuko, not me. Your anger upset her.
I'm sorry, Nezuko. Please.
All right, anyway.
Please forgive me.
No, seriously, it's just not the... She just seems kind of naive, man.
Yeah.
How do you end up in a position of leadership and be that naive? Like, oh, clearly I'm not about to sleep with the villain, with the guy I'm trying to murder. Clearly that's not happening. My horn dog brain is too... Anyway, we're going to not go sidebar on Akame ga Kill.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think...
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I just like poking fun at it
Yeah.
for fans.
Mugen Train friggin' rocks.
So
and
overall, yeah,
it is the
pretty
movie.
baller. Yeah.
It is the movie that proved to me that Demon Slayer is not just going to ride on its laurels and just like kind of pull punches just for the sake of
It's going to keep escalating.
keeping characters around just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
This show is really going to go hardcore later, and I can't wait for season 2 next year. It's going to be
Ufotable wouldn't have enjoyed
fucking
doing it
fantastic.
if it doesn't go hard.
Oh hell yeah!
If it didn't go hard in the paint, like fucking Ufotable probably wouldn't have picked it up, and that was the greatest promise by Ufotable picking up. Is Ufotable is not the kind of people who take on a series that they don't absolutely have a commitment in making, and they have a very specific type of show they like making, and that's really dark, screwed up shit.
And they're committed. They are committed to Demon Slayer, and I can tell. Like, there's a reason why Ufotable took this up.
Well, and there is a passion behind everything they do, and that's what I'm going to say about Demon Slayer is, like, in spite of its problems, in spite of Zenitsu, in spite of the Hashiras, in spite of all the little nitpicks we've had so far, it makes up for it in tenfold in the amount of dedication and time that they spend on the music, the staging, the framing, everything about the show, the animation. the color palettes, everything, and especially the stylization of it, all works together in a very organic and timeless way. Nothing feels too much like it's a product of its times, and I feel like that is the most. What I was gonna say about the CG in this series is that it's done intelligently, like most UFO tables.
Yeah.
It's used on faraway shots. If they're doing a shot of like the three walking, they might use CG.
Yeah.
But it's always them walking in the distance, so it never looks too jarring. You know.
Yeah.
And it's done very intelligently, and it has a very timeless look to it, and that's why I think that's more than anything else. Like, you can make an average story timeless if you spend enough time really polishing the edges of it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And that's one of the things I like about Demon Slayer. I really do feel like in the future Demon Slayer is going to be looked at like very favorably as just like one of the great shonen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because,
definitely
really
one of
do
the
think
classics.
yeah,
for sure.
because it's just got so much. It's just dripping with that extra energy that went into it, and that
Especially
a lot
the
of
anime.
shows.
Especially the anime.
I was gonna say, a lot of series are just like going through a lot of series just go through the motions. Demon Slayer goes hard in the paint. Like I said, it's trying to prove itself, and it's doing a fantastic job so far.
Flying colors. Flying colors.
And so I as long as they keep this energy up and they have the same passion for this as they did for the second season coming up as they did for the first season, this show will go down in history as one of the greats.
Hell yeah! Like one of the
Promise
best,
Neverland.
probably one of the best manga adaptations out there. So.
It really is. This to me, this going from manga to anime feels like when Metroid went from 2D to 3D.
That's a good.
It was
comparison,
it was
yeah.
one of the best, most well crafted, most well thought out, like most romantically invested. Like they were in love with this project.
Oh yeah.
Adaptations of something from one medium to another ever. Like going from the days of Super Metroid to Metroid Prime, it was a perfect transition, and the reason it worked was because every inch of that game was dripping with that kind of like, we are in love with this project and we want this to be perfect.
Definitely.
And that's what's going to end up making Demon Slayer a classic, I think.
Fuck
Just
yes.
in spite of its problems, because it has them. It does have its problems, but it doesn't matter. You're willing to overlook them at every turn because of how good the rest of it is.
Yeah, it's the same with series like Dragon Ball and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The reason why
at least the original arcs, yeah, you're absolutely right.
like
yeah,
even Dragon Ball, for as much of a stone cold classic as that is, and like the longevity it had problems too. But the reason why people still look upon Dragon Ball favorably is because
they just kept going, man.
They just plugged away at it, and it was so freaking good. When it was good, it was really goddamn good.
Yep. I don't know if MHA is going to reach that status, and that's my thing. I think its problems outweigh its benefits when you really step back and look at it. But
it's like everyone remembers shit like, Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 and shit like that. Like everyone remembers that shit for a reason. And I think Demon Slayer has that special spice.
As I say, everybody remembers. Everyone's going to remember episode 19. Everyone's going to remember when Goku went Super Saiyan.
Everyone's going to remember Mugen Train.
Yeah.
If you watch it, you will too. It's good shit. Everyone's
It's
gonna.
so fucking
If you don't
good.
remember anything else about Mugen Train, you're gonna remember that last scene.
Oh god, it hurts.
It's really hard to not be to have something that emotional placed in front of you and you not have it.
and the
you.
credits like twist the knife even further, because the last thing you see at the end of the credits is just like Rengoku's broken sword.
Broken sword. Yep.
Like
Oh yeah, that was.
Ow.
That was not cool.
damn. Why? Shit. All
Good
right.
stuff.
All right.
Go watch the damn movie if you haven't already. You watched all the spoilers. Just go watch the movie.
You will not regret it.
Yes.
Patronize these people. They deserve your money.
I'd say that.
Don't pirate that shit. Patronize them. They actually deserve it.
Yeah,
do.
they deserve it this time.
Just don't do it through Funimation. Fuck them. Anyway.
We flipped off the logo in the theater.
Yeah, it's like do 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 do. Because we're such lovers of Funimation. So,
Clearly.
Funimation was good until it wasn't.
yeah.
All right, I think that'll do.
Okay. All
That'll
right.
do, pig. That'll do.
Yes, that was.
I'm gonna go back to my chili dog now.
Okay. All right. So, thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it to the end, subscribe.
Chili dog eating ASMR after this.
Yes.
No.
Please no. Chompa. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Cubey3rd, and that is at KYUUBETHE 3RD. And where can they find you, Kevin?
I'm mostly on Twitter at CCharmanderK, CCHARMANDERK. It's literally just the Pokemon with 2 letters at the beginning and end added. So I also have an Instagram, but I don't really use that much anymore.
You whore.
Shut up. I have an Instagram that I don't.
Instagram.
I have an Instagram that I don't use. I have a Tumblr account that I just reblog dumb shit on. I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't really use that much anymore. So yeah, if you want to get a hold of me, just go on Twitter.
Yeah. So
You can find me on Twitter. My name is Saradin. Yes, my name is Saradin is the name of my Twitter. That is MY space NAME Name space is, look it up, space Saradin, SERODIN. You can also find me in prison. I'm right behind you the whole time. Anyway.
Oof.
damn.
Big oof, bro.
Yeah. So this has been Otaku Midnight.
Oh.
Thank you for watching. It's been a long while. I know there was some bugs in the beginning, but really glad we did. I'm really glad we did this, and I hope there'll be more episodes to come. Hopefully not. Hopefully there'll be more to come soon. We don't know when.
Sooner rather than later, I hope.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's all just gonna depend on Kev here, or maybe we'll just do like an episode where it's just me and Sarah.
Yeah, we'll just do episodes without you, man.
Yeah.
Can't ever be available.
Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
fuck
leave
you.
Shit!
Look at this man abusing his waifu. At least I cuddle her.
I'm sorry.
I don't
sorry,
cuddle, I don't
Nezuko.
cuddle
Forgive
Nezuko.
me.
Nezuko's not my waifu. She's too much of an emoto bait for me to want to, anyway.
Yeah.
I love
But-
you.
Yeah,
but-
that was so.
At least
yeah.
I cuddle my waifus.
Yeah. But anyway, this has been Otaku Midnight. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you later. All right.
He can't fucking key.
I'm keeping that in there.
God damn it.